All right, everyone, hello, and welcome to episode 67 of Passion Project, the speedrunning gaming variety show that encourages anyone and everyone in the speedrunning greater gaming communities to showcase their passions in games. My name is Amber Cyprin. I will not be doing that 6-7 hand motion again, but I will be your host tonight, and if you've got a passion project of your own and you want to appear on GDQ Hotfix, we are always looking for new submissions, so if you've got a run you'd love to showcase on the channel, send it our way at gdq.gg/submit. /hotfix, type ! submit in chat for more details if you're in chat right now. So whether that's grinding speedruns, learning and routing new categories, or breathing new life into a game in unconventional ways, Passion Project is the best place on Twitch to show the world what you love the most in speedrunning and gaming. I just want to remind everyone that you're awesome for being here, and tonight on Passion Project, we're going to be celebrating Sonic's 35th anniversary with Kirby Master and his commentator, Brandino of the Philips CDI, formerly the Nintendo 3DS, as we dive into the all stages run of Sonic Lost World's 3DS port. And afterwards, Kirby will be going in depth into multiple ILs or individual levels within the game's run to show what really makes them tick. So Kirby, Brandino, thank you both for joining me tonight. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Kirby?
I was muted. Oops.
You
probably saw my mouth moving and no audio. Oops. Yeah, I'm Kirby, and yeah, Sonic Lost World for the Nintendo 3DS is a very underappreciated, pretty awesome game. For some context, last time I was on Passion Project was like a year ago at this point with Amber. I showcased the teaser of a project I was working on called the Sonic Handheld 16, which is a speedrun of all 16 portable Sonic handheld games, which included this game. And after that, I did that speedrun in under 9 hours on December of 2025. So that was really awesome and really fun. And then, of course, I'm not going to keep actively running all 16 games. So one of the games that I stuck around with was this game, because this game is really, really freaking fun to speedrun. And one of the things that I've pretty much been playing this game nonstop as like my speed project since all of this year, basically. And there's just been so many new findings, so many new strats found, and like I guess the reason I wanted to bring this up in Passion Project was that I kind of have a goal to get the IO world record of every normal stage in this game, and I'm like 85% there, partially because it's cool, but also a big part of it's because, well, this game's on the 3DS, and a lot of these former world records were at the time where 3DS capture was not really a thing, so there's almost no documentation of anything, which sucks, but it is what it is, and I really want to just have that documentation for everything on top of having the world record. That's pretty awesome, which is why we talked about having an IL showcase after this run. But what this run is effectively a run-through of every normal mode stage in this game through time attack mode. So you kind of get a real-time run of everything I've been working on just in the full game kind of setting. So all stages differ from story mode. We have everything unlocked. We've already beaten the game. Wisps are already unlocked. We are using time attack mode, so we don't have access to anything like items or shields, or at least out-of-stage shields, stuff like that. But yeah, anything you want to add, Brandino, who is a good pal of mine and also a huge fan of this game?
No, I mean, you covered it. So just to where I came from, I also run this game. I was running it for quite a few years before Kirby stepped in. And yeah, one thing that he's mentioning about these ILs is to get footage for them. When I was running, I had like no real workable footage for so many things, and we just didn't have contact with a lot of the people that would reveal some of the information that would let us get a lot lower times. So Kirby has been on a mission to fill in the gaps from where I was able to get a lot of recording and stuff in from several years ago, and like this game has basically been turned upside down in the last year or so. We've gotten into contact with some older runners who shared strats, and just in general come up with a lot of new stuff. So I'm excited for Kirby to show it all off.
Yeah, and like all the things I've worked on is built upon all the work that Brandino and other former runners have also built up on as well. So like really what you're going to see here is kind of a culmination of a showcase of recent years of a lot of work from multiple runners. So
this game was a black box for a very long time, and only just recently do we really have a lot more information.
Okay, so I will say, top screen is the main screen. The bottom screen is near useless, although you can see my personal IL, my individual levels, speedrun personal best in the bottom screen if you like looking at that. Usually, 80% of these are going to be the out world record, so don't compare what I actually get in here usually. But without further ado, this is going to be the all stages speedrun. Are we ready on the timer?
Ready whenever you are. Feel free to count us in.
All right, 3, 2, 1, cat. All right, take it away, Randy. This stage is brutal.
So, Windy Hill 1 was just a stage that Kirby had been trying to break for quite a while, and then we actually got into contact with somebody who had run the game a long time ago, and he was able to share more strats that Kirby was able to use to push it down below the world record that was recorded, that we had unrecorded world record. So now we finally have footage.
Yeah, the former record before my time was like a 118, so you can see on the other screen I have a 117.76, thanks to all the new strats that the Japanese runner shared that we can in contact with, so that's really awesome, honestly.
Yeah. Any information that we can gain at all, like I said, we just did not know for a very long time. This game, out of like all of the Sonic games in existence, I think most people forget about this game in a lot of ways, and it's, for that reason, there's not a lot of footage, because 3DS and also obscure Sonic game, so it can be really difficult sometimes.
But right now we have the Asteroid Wisp, which is not unlocked in this stage normally, but we're going to use it to skip all these clouds and stuff, which are really slow.
Yup, the Asteroid Wisp, so the way that it works is if you have two forms. There's like a Saturn form and what we call a Vortex form, and it turns into the Vortex by eating a certain amount of items, which kind of differ on the size of the items and quality of the items. Like, certain items are worth more than others and stuff. But when you're in Vortex form, you can eat literally anything, and you also have an extremely large double jump that also like very slowly floats down that you can like force lower to the ground faster. Running off of ledges is the fastest way to control Asteroid, because you'll maintain the same speed that you did before.
In other words, the bigger you get, the faster and higher you jump when moving Asteroid, so you want to get big. 123, that's a pretty good time. Like, again, I messed up the first section, but like the first section is one of the hardest parts of this entire run, so like, we'll take it.
Oh yeah, Windy Hill is so difficult when you're doing art. Let me just say, this is a very difficult game, RTA. This extremely punishing kind of game. The kind of game where failing certain things and falling into lower routes will just net you huge chunks of time lost, like 45-second upwards just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This game is so punishing. It's a very Dimps game. It's Dimps' final game, actually, that they made for Sonic series.
Yeah, this game, so the 3DS port does differ a fair bit from the PC port that people, or the PC and console ports that people might be more familiar with. But it might not be immediately apparent how it's different. Would you mind like going into some of those differences?
Well, a good example right here is just the levels. These are completely different levels that follow ideas of the other game, and the mechanics are very different. So where Kirby is right now, this area actually is normally supposed to teach you how to wall run, of which you can wall run in 2 different directions. But Kirby did a little bit of a funny strat and jumped on top of the level and spin dashed over top of it to skip all that, which is a really cool thing. But your spin dash is kind of like the console in that it's infinite, but one of the big differences is that your spin dash saves during double jump, which gives us a lot more utility out of it than the console version because of that. Like, the console version loses spin dash if you double jump. So it's like a more simplified engine and a kind of like ideas of the other game, but it's a different game. That's kind of like how I would describe it.
It has its own identity, for sure.
Now, Kirby has recently rerouted this level, so we always knew that you could use the Burst Wisp here, but I was never able to really come up with a route, because using Burst Wisp here is a really punishing affair.
It's very dangerous.
Talk a little bit about that, Kirby?
Yeah, because like this is one of those cylinder levels where if you go really high, though, then the gravity will flip and you might just die off the ceiling. So you have to be really careful when you use Burst on stage. Right. You got a fire
shields.
Really nice.
Yep, go ahead.
Pretty self-explanatory.
This is some cool, like, mind-bending movement where we're skipping. It's actually, like, faster to go kind of in a straight line through these tubes. And so Kirby's, like cutting corners and stuff around the tube to avoid having to touch these really slow, what's it called? Anyway, really cool jump. Let's watch.
Ooh, boing. Yeet. All right.
Easy.
Not bad. I did miss a burst route somewhere, but, like, it's not worth going back for the burst when I missed it, so not a big deal. 212. Not amazing, not bad. Right. So one thing I
Great
like
job.
to say when I run this game is, in most case zones, the 2D stage is the hardest stage to speedrun.
And is that ever true here?
All right.
This is an awesome level, though. This is the level I've probably poured the most time into myself.
This level is really difficult, so I'm gonna have to really focus here. But we got laser. Laser's good. Right. And there is a Zaz encounter coming up.
Good old Zaz.
Just kidding.
Or just
No
kidding.
Zaz.
Nice.
So that's a little bit of a skip that I found back in the early days when I was getting to know this game, before I even had a 3DS capture card. So I was messing around with some information I was reading on Sonic Center, which we'll explain that at another point. But I was looking around on Sonic Center, and somebody had mentioned that there was a way to laser over the trigger that spawned Zaz there. And so I tried it, and I was like, oh wait, you can do this, and you can do it in 2 different places and mix it with a 3rd skip, so that ideally we're never going to see Zaz in this level.
Right, here's
the 2 easiest
Zaz 2. Bye.
Sorry, what'd you say?
That was Zaz 2, yep.
Yep, exactly. So the 3rd skip actually doesn't use later. It is a little bit trickier. So that one is going to be like the most, the worrisome, I suppose, throughout the run. But you skip so much with the laser here. It's awesome. This level with the laser is one of my favorites.
This level just feels so good to do if it goes cleanly. But it's also really difficult. There we go. 3rd Zaz skip is coming up after these clouds.
Yeah, this one's going to be using some gravity to our advantage. So go ahead. I'll let it speak for itself.
Got it. All right.
Easy.
Easy every time.
The trigger in the area in which Zaz spawns is actually quite small there. So what's happening is that there's like a gravity change, and you gain enough speed from the gravity change and then double jump to carry that speed straight over the trigger that would have spawned Zaz. And that was actually found by Mills Tails Prower in this speedrun Discord around the same time that I found the laser skip. So that was really cool to have all of them together. And now for something completely different, the Burst Wisp again.
Yeah, what are this is the extra stage of Windy Hell. What are the extra stages, Brandy, you know?
So in this game, you can collect red rings in every single level, and when you collect the red rings in the 3 acts of every area, you unlock an extra stage. And by and large, the extra stages are just a Wisp challenge with rehashed levels from the earlier area, but filled with spike balls and random nonsense. And
Yeah, this is Windy Hill 1 with burst spam.
And yeah, exactly. That's the good way to describe it. We're using some of the exact same routes. So I have to watch out for these water sacks, because touching them will turn Sonic, will unburst Sonic. And we want to hit these little volcanoes, because not only do they give us like a big burst of speed and a jump, but they also refill the burst. And now Kirby's just going to keep using level 3 explosions to make it to the end here and try to land right on top of the capsule, because normally you can homing attack it, but in Wisp form you can't. And then he just homing attacks it anyway.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was quite good.
All right. So now we're actually going to see Zaz. So again, in the story mode, we don't have access to burst. You actually unlock burst on lava mountains. You unlock it 3 lanes. And this is one of the boss fights where you actually have burst for it if you haven't unlocked. So, but I'm going to play it a little safe.
What's really, really funny is that this map is reused later, and the burst location is literally identical from the other Zaz fight.
Okay, there we go.
Easy.
Yeah, you can kill him more quickly by just spamming bursts from the start instead of homing attacking him. It is faster, but it's very dangerous because you have very little time to get 4 booms on him. And on top of that, he has iframes. And on top of that, if you try to charge your bursts as soon as possible between each boom, you're going to be way too high up, because whenever you charge, you hover in the air.
Yeah, there's like a radius where the burst won't actually affect him if you're too high up. Yeah, it's a relatively complicated boss for how quick and small it is. And now on to Desert Ruins. This is a really banger of an area in this game, both in any percent and in all stages, because like the variations are cool. Now, Desert Ruins 1 is one of my favorite stages in the game. So you'll notice, so there's like kind of 3 gimmicks of stages. This level is what we call a fixed cam 3D stage. There's fixed cam 3D, free cam 3D, and 2D. It's one of my favorite fixed cam 3D levels. And we're going to have an unforgettable luncheon here. Tornadoes.
Nom nom. Alright, so I'm going to grab this asteroid, and then I'm going to and then the next asteroid I pick up, I want to not refresh my current asteroid, because I want to conserve the next asteroid for later. So I'm going to intentionally wait for this current asteroid to run out. And pick up this asteroid here. And make that jump. That jump is really tight to make. If you can make that without wall climbing, but it is really tight. You'll see it in the Isle showcase.
This is a new route as well. This Kirby helped to reroute the stage to make it faster and figure out how to get
that boost pad there is faster than the others because of reasons. And
yeah,
I got it.
That is, yeah. So that boost pad sends you into overdrive, and you can keep the speed, but it's very, very difficult because the line that you need to walk on is extremely thin. But Kirby just did it.
Yeah, like after you hit that one boost pad that gives you extra speed, you want to avoid all other boost pads without jumping. That's really hard to do. Does it save much time? Not really, but it's really cool. So.
Also, this song is so good.
All right. So what I want to do is this is the asteroid I conserved from earlier, and I want to eat every single cactus here. There's going to be a pair of cacti that's pretty difficult to grab. You'll see it soon, right? Got it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That lets you just enough to enter vortex mode, as Brandino said, and grab that more cleanly. Not a huge deal this one, but yeah.
Then some of that route was inspired by when Kirby routed all red rings, and that's another cool thing that's he's been able to do in the last like 5 months.
Time. Oh.
Yep, now we're just going to literally run straight to the end of this area. And literally, it doesn't even matter because we already have full vortex form.
Oh. So, while we're in nap time, can I ask you a question, Kirby?
What's up?
You've got lots of experience with the different styles of gameplay, and particularly the handheld Sonic series. So what are some things unique to this game that you really like about the speedrun?
I think, honestly, a big part of it's probably the gimmicks, the wisps. Which, I mean, the gimmicks are hit or miss in most games, really, and this game's not really an exception to that, but it just feels like this game has so much diversity to it with all the stages. And thankfully, at least for me, more hits and misses in the speedrunning context. And the game just also has so much, like, the movement's relatively simple, but also there's so much you can do with it. And the thing that makes this game stand out really is the parkouring system as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the parkour is like what I think makes this game particularly shine. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's heresy, there we go, to give Sonic a run button. And like, I can understand why it feels strange. It's kind of a fragment left over from it being built on the boost engine. But I think the parkour really is something that should exist in the Sonic series, period.
Nice.
Yeah, and this game, like Lost World, both the console version and the DS version, really show how unique and fun parkour can be for Sonic.
Yes.
And add to his arsenal, because sometimes the way that you approach levels, it feels like Sonic is like, it's like the canonical way he would do it. I can't really explain it further than that.
He would want to be flashy.
Exactly, and this game is just also very satisfying to hit all this stuff. It feels great. The sense of movement is really, really fun. The 2D levels especially feel so fast. And speaking of fast, in Desert Ruins 2 here, we're skipping like 90% of this stage with drill. Normally you have to do a bunch of puzzles involving rolling these like stone heads onto switches, but with drill, Kirby is literally just going to drill his way to the capsule.
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Yeah.
Do you see my best time there?
That's
101.
Less than a second.
That is fantastic. This is one of those stages I do not have the Isle World record in, by the way, but it's close. That was still just fantastic, though. Like, oh my goodness. All right, we have a lot to commentate on Act 3, right, Brandino?
Oh yeah, longest stage in the game. The stage took me a while casually, so surely you can see the.
We'll let it.
Anyway.
Nice wall we got there.
So normally this stage wants you to go and fight a bunch of enemies and open capsules and hit switches so that you can open a capsule to a spring that takes you here. But in the time it took me to explain that, Kirby just hopped over the wall and spin dashed to victory. And again, we're skipping a bunch of combat and jumping on this guy's head. And this sends us straight to the end of the
All right, out of there.
I want to shout out, that was also, jumping on the guy's head was actually something I found when I was initially routing red rings a long time ago, because one of the red rings you get by literally jumping on his head, And I was like, wait, you can just do this faster, because normally you'd have to fight all the enemies there to hit a warp that takes you to the end of the stage. But if you just jump on his head, it finishes the stage immediately. All right, now for a pretty difficult... oh, I love that, though. Ooh. Pretty difficult stage to do. We're going to be destroying tornadoes with a rock, as you definitely don't want to do.
Yeah, don't go lobbing boulders at the next tornado that you chase.
Yeah, bad idea. But yeah, the gimmick is we need to kill all the sandstorms in this stage, and every teleport you take kind of takes you farther and farther back in the arena. I'm taking a bit of a safer route. You can do this entire back area in one trip, but it's really dangerous and difficult to do it. Also, yeah, Quake is crowd controlled.
Yeah, so Kirby is moving the 3DS left and right in the physical, real world in order to move this Quake around. And this is not the last time we're going to see gyro. This game loves gyro.
This game's special stages love gyro. There is a GIF circulating of you playing the special stages in all Chaos Emeralds.
And spinning around, allegedly. Alleged GIF.
It's the lower route you can take, but it's considerably slower, and we have to kill these enemies to get this X refresh here. It's worth it, though, because the other route is
very easy. Very easy to fall off the stage in this entire section, so Kirby was able to avoid that, which is nice. Now we've got a little bit of movement tech here, so when hitting the rock, the Quake like stops in the air for a second and then hops just a little bit further. So with that in mind, we can actually skip hitting some springs and be slightly faster by jumping into the top of the rock to get over it.
I didn't do it there because it's dangerous, but yeah.
And then now we're going to skip combat by taking the top route, which is a classic Dimps move. If this area looks familiar, it's because we're in the extra stage and we are once again in Desert Ruins 1. Now Kirby's just pounding down to kill some worms that are trying to move behind him, and the stage is over.
That was really good.
Yep.
I'm very happy with that.
This is a really tough stage to do quickly, and in order to make it faster, Kirby had to completely reroute basically the entire first and second sections for different movement, which was hard because it's like figuring out how to kill those tornadoes quickly is just very difficult. Now for something that Kirby knows better than anybody, Desert Ruins boss.
Oh yeah, the Too Long Don't Read version is I have a route planned in mind, and we need to eat 16 blocks to go into Vortex mode, and then we kill him in one hit, ideally. So, and then jump. Dead. And he's dead.
Wow.
I make that look easy.
Listen, I'll be the first to tell you that this is not easy. As somebody who ran this game for several years, it took me forever and then some to follow Kirby's route, because what I used to do is basically just kind of YOLO in a small area near me, would pick up as many blocks as fast as I could so that I wouldn't get out of the area where the asteroid recharges. But Kirby figured out a much faster direct route that gives you exactly the amount of blocks you need so that you can jump in the air and immediately hit him. It's so hard. Because the planetoid, my brain just does not understand the planetoid.
Oh, mine neither. So like that just took me so long to get the hang of, honestly. It's like, where am I again? What the hell? What?
You have to learn 2 variations of this because the boss is later reused in Lava Mountain. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Welcome to Tropical Coast. Oh!
Nice. Frame perfect jump.
Yep, that was a frame perfect jump to keep his spin dash going and hit the ground immediately. This is actually the first canonical level in the game to introduce the Drill Wisp. This is another level that, thanks to information from Super Rooster, who's an older runner of this game, we were able to... Kirby really was able to make a lot of changes to the route that we do and help us get closer and closer to the record. And hopefully, there's going to be a glitch here that we're going to try to go for, and this is really cool. Oh, and here's another new routing that came from Red Rings.
It is a red ring here, and it turns out to be faster to get that instead of going the other way. It's kind of funny. Faster and really, easier.
Really, really cool, though, what playing different categories of a game can do for each other.
For sure.
I just want to say, like, just the fact that, like, you're playing Red Rings and then you think, you know, this might be faster for any percent, too, and then you get to incorporate that in any percent. Like, yeah, it just really goes to show. All right, now Kirby has exact movement he needs to make here. It's very difficult because we want to try to go for this glitch, and we need to hit a pipe on basically the frame that drill depletes.
Nope.
Okay.
Didn't get it.
Okay, that's okay. There's still a very fast route that we can take now, but just inbound. And look how fast this boost pad is.
Yeah, so you need drill to run out the frame you enter that green pipe, and it saves around 15 to 20 seconds, so it's significant, but it's not like the end of the world if you miss it. So,
Gosh, I love all the new movement here. This level is so much more fun since Kirby figured out all this stuff. Lots of just very wonky gravity jumps. This level is some of the most ridiculous gravity in the game.
Yeah, it kind of sucks we didn't get the glitch, but on the other hand, like, the inbound movement's still really fun to do, so it's like, well, yeah, I lost time, it kind of stinks, but at least the rest of the stage is really fun anyways, so... Doing it inbounds. So yeah, if you get a clean run with the out of bounds, you usually get like a 203, 204. Inbounds, you'll typically get like a 218, 219. And this was really good, so... Probably gonna get 219.
Can't hit the capsule with the drill, so we need to wait for it to run out.
219 flat. It's nice.
Wow.
Super fast. The times in this level used to be like 240-ish to feel good before Kirby like incorporated all these routes. Tropical Coast 2. This is the most. This is the level.
You sound exasperated saying it.
It's well, this level will keep a doctor away. Let me say that.
Yeah. Apple Day keeps the doctor away.
Because it's full of apples. Hey.
Oh.
This is really one of those huge gimmick stages, but I honestly find it cute. Like, you're pushing these apples, and you eat the apples up back into the blender, and you push these in the blender, and you get lots of apple juice. You repeat.
This is just... I hate ILing this stage, personally. This is one of the worst stages to IL, because there's some fun combat here, so we're going to be making use of Sonic's multi-target homing attack to put enemies that would normally damage you on the first time you attack them. As long as they're not the first one in a chain, you can hit them whenever. So we, like, deliberately manipulate Sonic's homing attack so that enemies that would damage him on contact are put into the center.
Okay, so we're gonna get the lightning wisp. First time we're gonna see it, and we have one shot at the skip. If you fail it, you lose like almost a minute. And this is an intended skip. You're the first person between the two of us to correctly do the route that you were supposed to do. No, right?
Right. So that's a joke. One time Kirby did the any % route while he was supposed to be doing all stages, and I did the all stages route when I was supposed to be doing any %.
Here we go.
So yeah, we're gonna skip the entire end of the level here by doing...
Oh, got it. Okay. Oh my god. I think got a little bit thrown off there, but we're fine, we're fine.
And just like that, 112, we're out of there. Now that differs pretty heavily from an any % variation of this level. Any %, because you have to do the final apple section, what does it come out to? Like
Sub 2 is the standard, I think, for any %.
I think, yeah, I was going to say sub 2, yeah, it took me a second, but yeah, it's one of the biggest differences. Okay, I need to let Kirby lock in.
Okay, yeah, I need an audio cue here, so I'm going to have some quiet. Okay, got it.
Easy.
But we're doing, this is totally unintended, right? Like, not totally from not those rings you see on the top, right?
Yeah, so we are normally, like, this level is a big, like, 3D drill showcase, but by doing the first thing that Kirby did and also this little drill capsule bounce, we're going to avoid doing any of this. And here's some stuff that Kirby found. Wall jumping on top of water will give you an absurd amount of speed, which will carry all the way to the end of the water running section. So this saved a bunch of time in this level.
It's like wow. This 4 or 5 second time save. It's ridiculous. Like, when you run on water, you're supposed to decelerate slowly, but if you wall jump at the perfect height, above the surface of the water, you will never decelerate. And that is just so fast.
Yep, that was a brand new find. That is like, we're talking like maybe a month or 2 ago.
You're gonna see that again later, but yeah.
Maybe longer. A time isn't real, I'm afraid.
Yeah, time isn't real, I agree.
Now, this is an auto-run section. We've had these in a couple other levels, but really didn't talk about them. But this game loves to just, like, put you in a section, a big, windy section where you don't really have a lot of control over Sonic. But this one is an important one because we need to grab a drill capsule here. It kind of creates a developer-intended skip, if you want to say, where we're going to be using this drill capsule to skip fighting all of these guys for another drill capsule to move right past this section.
All right, here we go.
This game has a weird relationship with tornadoes, because in this level you drill through them. Earlier we were hitting them with rocks, and then we also eat them. Like, none of these are things you should be doing with tornadoes.
Got it. Okay, Brandino, you forgot to talk about one thing, about how much 3D drill sucks. Because you both agree with that, right?
Yes, this is one of the worst controlling parts of the game is 3D drill, because what you can see here, the way that Kirby is moving is to tap the D-pad left and right, and he is keeping away from the up and down directions as much as he possibly can, because the moment that drill moves up and down, you're never getting it back to neutral, ever again. and it loses a bunch of time. It starts going like wonky all over the place. It just controls horribly.
And you're constantly moving forward too, so like you just have to deal with it basically. And there's one spot when I was in control where I can't be helped. I had to like move vertically, but otherwise, yeah, you kind of just want to avoid tapping up or down as much as possible. Well, in 3
the only time you have to worry about moving vertically, you can hit a air dash ring, which will basically level the drill immediately back out to the perfect height that you need for the rest of the section. So that keeps you from having to worry about that. And a sub 240 time.
That was good.
That's great.
The only real time loss was grabbing the ledge on that first section, which is really difficult to skip anyways and risky. So like really 238, I'll take it. I'll gladly take that. I'm gonna be real. This is a really good run. I probably jinxed myself saying that, especially with the extra stage coming up because this stage is very dangerous.
Yeah, this level. So as in pure extra stage fashion, we're back here at Tropical Coast 3, but now we've got water that'll kill us if we immediately go below it. And we have Lightning Wisp, which if it touches anything water, it'll immediately like go back to Sonic. So we need to worry about that this entire time.
Okay, enemy group here.
Lightning has a big AoE when it hits enemies. So what happens there is by hitting one enemy, it ends up doing more damage to the enemies around it. So these big turtles... Oh, that's so slick! It does more damage to these big turtles, and so lets us kill them in 2 hits as opposed to 3. Now we're gonna go bowling. Nice.
That entire spike ball section was like one of the hardest parts of the stage. And I died there half the time. Because I went for the aisle strat like an idiot, and I got it.
And... Nice.
You can see that exploit again. Running across water by wall jumping, right there. Just go over really fast.
Again, another recent reroute to this level, and now we're going to be doing some lightning-based combat. Once again, you can see the AoE in effect here. We're hitting these little spike guys in order to do extra damage to the turtles and kill them quicker.
Pretty happy with that.
109 even. Wow.
Yeah, that was good. Tapping in the in-game time because I am running my splits.
All right.
Giant fly here.
Now it's time to hit a brand new strat.
Sorry, I got distracted by a fly. Good thing we go by in-game time. Good thing we go by in-game time.
I was getting harassed by a fly earlier too, and I'm like, I cannot wait for it to be cold again, literally just so you stop doing this.
I know. All right. So the general gist behind Zik, we do not want to bring him to half health until we're ready to finish him off, basically. Otherwise, he will respawn all his frit and go through really long animation. So I'm going to try to one-cycle him, get him as close to half health as possible without actually bringing him to half health. And then once we're ready, just go all in. All right. Dead. Got it.
Easy. So, a recent discovery by Kirby was that you could actually stun him, which literally nobody had ever tried to do until, like, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes you just don't think of these things.
32, jeez. Who would have thought I'd get it 32 in a full game run? My goodness.
Remember, so before that, the old one cycle used to be Ray, and then try to do 8 what we call spin hops, which we haven't talked about yet, but a very quick movement option that we have in this game is called a spin hop, where you start a spin dash and then immediately cancel it into a jump, and it gives you a ton of forward momentum. So you do 8 spin hops directly into him and pray to RNGesus that you did not accidentally hit a fruit, and then that would give you the one cycle. And now we have a consistent setup for it, thanks to Kirby.
Normally we go for a 2 cycle, which takes about 50 seconds. So that 1 cycle there saves like 17 seconds. The consistent 1 cycle, which is amazing.
Yeah, I will say one thing about about speed games Kirby has played. Like, if you ever want to see a game get more documentation, more like resources, and also maybe see some route changes, convince Kirby to run your game.
Yeah,
I can convince him that it's good enough to run.
Routing's fun. What can I say?
Because of the handheld 16, Kirby got to interact with Sonic Generations 3DS and Sonic Lost World 3DS. Now, at the time, I was the record holder of both games and had done probably the most ILs for both of them. And then Kirby has absolutely surpassed that, which is just nuts to think about because that was definitely just such a big part of my speedrun career.
Ooh.
And it's like, wow, that's a really cool little strat.
Yeah.
The stage is just so cool.
Yeah.
It's just reflecting this. really cool how much has been able to change since Kirby came into the fold here.
Yeah, like I would love to go a little more in depth when there's a little more time to, like, you know, because y'all are talking about, or often you sit there and say like what you would do during various strats, or you know, so on and so forth. Like, oh,
missed it. I haven't missed that in a while.
Dang.
That's okay. Easy backup. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to grab another wisp, and then look at that. I think we lost maybe like 5 seconds.
He's gonna play it safe.
Yeah. So Kirby's gonna take the the caterpillar out.
Really safe.
Yeah, we need lightning here to kill that worm via AoE damage, and now we're gonna purposely kill Sonic to get rid of Lightning Wisp, because one, we run an IGT, so this actually isn't a huge loss, and two, it's gonna be faster to spin dash through this tunnel than it is gonna be to use the Lightning Wisp.
IGT on death resets back to last checkpoint, correct?
No, it keeps it actually.
No,
so
okay.
anytime
Interesting. So it compounds, okay.
It's something that started, I believe, with Sonic Colors, and has been going ever since.
Okay, because I remember
Unleashed
Isles and like Sonic Adventure is very different, because Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, like, your IGT will reset back to last checkpoint on a restart, or on death.
And that's truly been the standard for quite a while before this change, because Colors is a more recent game, and Colors is the first game to really do this whole, like, IGT, like, continues. So that does make it easier if you're, say, a leaderboard moderator who needs to time an IL.
I don't want to be that guy with saying Colors is a more recent game, but it is 16 years old.
No, don't say
Colors
it.
That's still more race. Oh, when I think about it, that means that's the same distance that Sonic Riders was from Sonic on Genesis.
Oh my god.
Sonic Riders is made for the 15th anniversary. So, I don't know what to do with that information, but I'm sorry to hear about your knees and your back.
I think I'm the oldest one here, so thanks, you all.
I mean, I'm 33 this year. I turned 33 this year, so.
I turned 35.
I turned this is my I turned 30 this year, so I'll join you guys in the 30 club.
Oh boy. I was saying this is an amazing run, and then that happened, but I mean, that's alright.
We're still cooking. That was a minor time loss. Still getting a 309 there is amazing.
Yeah, like I think we lost about 20 seconds overall, which sucks. But given how the rest of this run has gone, frankly, amazingly, this is a really good run.
That's what. And we still have a. It's like, if that's the blemish, let it be the blemish.
Right,
now, this is one of my favorite stages in the entire game. It's just so much fun. It's pretty difficult to do everything correctly here, but you're gonna like I don't know, when it all goes right, it feels amazing. And we're gonna be like taking, of course, the top route in every single area that we can. This level is one of the most punishing if you happen to fall into the lower areas.
Okay, I'm not gonna go for this risky strat because I messed up a little bit, so I'm gonna have to play the safe strat. Take a damage hit there, so that loses a good chunk of time, but that's all right.
Those are ice vents that freeze Sonic in place if they hit him, and they're terrible, and I hate them.
All right, I'm gonna aim this laser very carefully. Got it. Okay, another laser coming up. Really nice developer intended shortcut here. Should make the cycle. Yep, made it. Another laser, and there's an auto-scroller coming up. Amber, Brandina, I hope you love auto-scrollers.
Oh boy!
You know I do.
I mean,
and that was the auto-scroller behind us.
Oh.
It's gone. And we're actually just going to not do...
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, lightning in this game sucks.
You're fine, though. Just spin that. Yep.
We're good.
Okay, yeah, so... And... Wait for it. Bam.
Because I laser too early. Yeah, and one of the most annoying things about this game is that laser, when you hit the crystal, it doesn't refresh as much as you'd like. So it's really easy for you to just run out of laser in between crystals, which is frankly a little dumb. And I fired it too early in that case, and it didn't refresh me enough. I was supposed to go through that lull, but laser didn't refresh enough for me to go through cleanly. Oh well.
Now, this level has probably killed more people's casual playthroughs than any other. Because this is Frozen Factory 3. A lot of people tell me they quit this game after Frozen Factory, and I'm almost certain this is why. And you'll see it immediately here. So first, we've got to do a lot of snowball-pushing puzzle solving, which is just awesome.
Yeah, this is the hub, and we need to unlock 2 out of 3 snowballs here, basically. It's kind of an open-ish area where you have 3 different branches you can take. We only need 2 of them, thankfully. You need to get all 3 if you want to get the red ring. This is the second snowball that we're unlocking here. Don't mind me, totally not dangerous at all. And we unlocked it, so now we just have to push it in the hole.
Now, surely pushing the snowballs is the worst obstacle in this level. There's nothing else that is terrible, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
All right, hi, Tina.
Well, let me introduce you to the Super Mario Galaxy Cosmic Clone Snowball Head. It copies everything that we do, and if it hits us, it'll just sit there and smack us in the face repeatedly, freezing Sonic into ice forever. It's the worst thing ever, and is one of the reasons that this level is terrible. But thankfully, we're in New Game Plus, so we can grab a Quake Wisp and just soar on over past this whole section.
All right, another Mario Galaxy planet orb thing. This took me a while to get down. You're manipulating the snowball to spawn behind us, so you can step on that switch for us. Now,
shout out to Weebery, who came up with the route that we use for this area. So normally, like, yeah, you need to hit like 6 switches and kill 6 penguins, or it might be 5 each. I don't know. I lose count. But it's really cool. We're gonna hop on top of the switches that are like have the guys hovering above them and just do that. All right, now another cool strat that was revealed to us by an older runner, Super Rooster. So by jumping off this wall really high and quaking.
No.
Oh, dang.
Did we miss?
That's okay. We have another funny strat we can show off. So what was going to happen there, by jumping off the wall and quaking high up, we unload the door that would normally be there, and it doesn't load back in until we're done with Quake, so we can unload the door and fall quickly, but that wasn't able to happen, but that's okay, because we have another really funny strat coming up. So this is the any percent variation of the level here. So by pushing the snowball into the corner, and, ooh, that was a little too close for comfort. We're gonna just and then we're out. Look at that.
What?
Haven't done that in a while, so we're good.
Woohoo!
Well,
And the level's over.
unfortunate. That's okay.
That's it's still we didn't lose that much time, all things considered.
All right.
Thankfully we have that any percent trick. That was again found by Mills Tails Prower, whose name I believe I've heard elsewhere in random Sonic games. So I think they've discovered quite a few things.
All right. So in Asteroid, when you hit it, boost pads are fast in this game. When you hit a boost pad, you go just really fast for a split second, but you lose that speed eventually. But when you're in Asteroid, you want to hop like that, and that keeps your boost pad speed a little bit longer. And that was found by a Japanese runner. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Yukiya?
Let me
look it up. I don't want to refer to him incorrectly.
Let me remember. Okay, let me look it up.
But yeah, and that actually saved like an entire second and a half in this IL alone. And this is an IL I like published like 5 different times. What's it?
Yutong.
Yutong, there we go. Like it started with a Y in English, and I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah. Shout out to Yutong. They recently came back to this game and have been able to reveal a lot of old information and old ILs. Genuinely, one of the problems that with this game and Sonic Generations 3DS, and honestly a lot of the handheld Sonics besides Sonic Advance and the Rush series, the documentation is very sparse and very, let's say, spread out among a lot of individuals who maybe necessarily haven't like put all this information into one place. And so a really difficult process in all of this has been tracking down all of the footage that we can find and all of the runners that are able to share anything. And that can be difficult when the game has 5 runners historically, maybe 6. Maybe we've had contact with, I don't know, 3 other runners of this game that I can think of. Like Timtanium, who I learned any percent from, Super Rooster and Yutong. I can't think of many others that we've been able to like contact and get strats from. Nixer, the Sonic Adventure runner, actually was able to give us a couple things, but I think some of those have since been surpassed.
All right. We're on to Xena, and I think after this boss is where I would have a planned break. I think I'm okay with taking a break. I am at PB pace, but it's not like an amazing run after those blemishes. This is still a good run, though, but for now, we got Xena first.
If you would like to not take the break, since you're on PB pace, you are more than welcome to keep going. I've been told by production.
Okay. Let me actually focus on this quickly. Do we just have to zap Xena twice and she's gone? Done.
Yeah, this is the easiest boss and the most consistent boss in the game. Like, this is the one, like, when I'm playing any percent and we're doing this boss, it's like, all right.
Gotta go. Call me
Gotta go.
No thoughts,
Calm.
head empty. Just the amazing dialogue they wrote for the Zeddy is why people remember them and love them to this day.
I think we're doing pretty well on time in general, so I think I'd like to just keep going. That's
Yeah,
okay
go for
with
it.
you. All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's okay with production. It's okay with me.
This run is going pretty well, even despite those blemishes, and I'd like to keep riding this out because I am
Yeah,
on fire right now.
It is a good time to keep going because we are in Silent Forest, which is, in my opinion, the 3 strongest levels in the game, and then a boss that I don't like very much, and then an extra stage that we just won't talk about.
Yeah, that's the blemish of Silent Forest. The extra stage is kind of not great, but we'll get there when we get there. All right. So,
But let's not sully the memory of Silent Forest 1. This is an awesome level. So this is actually the first level canonically in the game where we get the, I wanted to call it drill.
Kill
The
2
Quake
chickens.
Wisp. Yeah, we're going to kill 2 chickens. Which will...
Whoops.
Somebody
not one-
canceled it early.
Yeah, whoops.
Yeah, you're good. That was funny. So what Kirby meant to do is destroy this block first and then cancel it on the wall.
Yep.
So that we could do this spin dash here.
Yeah, no one saw that. All right.
And
Neil
now-
loves this jump.
This is one of my favorite jumps in the game. So that jump is referred to as God jump because we skip basically this entire section, all of it, by just jumping over to the side there. Not that hard of a strat to do. It was pretty difficult for me starting out, but then it's one of those things I just stopped thinking about. And it's called God jump because when I was learning it from the previous runner, Titanium, he described that jump as like laughing in the face of God. And I just like that.
I love it when you say that story.
It's one of my favorites. And then here's a little bit of movement tech Kirby found is that when you're in the air here, when you go through air dash rings, mashing Y will let you do a bounce attack, which lets you fall slightly faster.
All right. Now we have to kill
And
4
we're gonna-
puzzles coming up here.
We skipped a bunch of puzzle solving with the spin dash because that's what Sonic does. That's how Sonic would solve all puzzles.
Quake is weird because if you hit a turtle directly, it takes 3 hits to kill them, but if you hit with the shockwave, then you do double damage. So we're gonna hit all 3
And-
with the shockwave and kill them in 2 hits.
Yeah, by hitting them directly kind of in the center and right up against the capsule there, the shockwave will hit all 3 of them. It's a very important strat.
All right, and now we just hold the Y button. Fun fact, that planet that we kept revisiting, there was a 5th red ring there, but only on the last revisit. Why? Don't ask. It's evil. Because I did route all red
Alright.
rings in this game. I kind of want to go back to at some point, but I've just been busy with Sonic Rush Adventure and also ILing this game too. Because Rush Adventure is another game I've been working on as well.
So, Silent Forest 2 here is probably my favorite stage in the game, personally. The level that I put next. I said that about Windy Hill 3, but it's a toss-up between this and Windy Hill 3 in terms of stages I put a lot of time into. And there's still new stuff that Kirby was able to find that saved his time here, because this is the only 3D level that has rails, and they have a lot of very interesting properties. And then here's a little jump that I came up with.
Aw, this jump is so slick. And it's easy too.
Yeah, we used to have to do a really hard capsule jump instead, and then one day, actually, this is another thing I learned because I run the Supersonic stages in an IL capacity, which are just bonkers.
And thank you.
Supersonic is twice as fast and jumps twice as high as Sonic, which results in some very interesting stuff. But I do a lot of hopping strats as Supersonic, aka like I hop on like crates and stuff for more consistent jumps, and then I started to do that in. Oops.
Well, that's
okay,
back
actually,
pretty far, but
But luckily it lets us get the lightning capsule again, so we don't have to worry about combat there.
that's unfortunate.
so-
But oh well.
A little
What?
bit.
What?
I didn't know that was possible.
Bounce attack can be a little bit dangerous there. If you
Wow.
do it too early, yeah, because we want to land on the rail, and then it also has a.
Well, that's
The
first.
bounce attack has a weird property after killing the cluckers, where it can bounce off of the rail.
Yeah.
And sometimes it won't, and sometimes it will.
Like that.
If
All right,
there's
well, no
anything
one
I
saw
learned
that.
about
Let's
the
have number
bounce
2.
attack from Sonic Adventure 2 was that the bounce attack is a double-edged sword.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it-
Move set in every game
it-
it's in.
In this game particularly, one of the things about the bounce attack, so we can't do like super bounces or anything, but it's
Sure.
good for like if you need to like fall straight down where you are. It's almost like
Yeah.
a stomp, but unless you can cancel the bounce, you will bounce upwards, which will lose the time that you gained from like falling immediately. So that's the main issue with the bounce attack in this game. So it can be useful, but as long as you cancel it. Now we've got the next area coming up was like my favorite movement in the game, probably. This is so much fun. And then, so Kirby found out that by switching rails, you gain a bunch of speed, and so we can use that speed to soar through the air faster. So he's going to be trying to do that a lot here, like switching off of a rail so that he gains that speed in like the forward momentum.
General idea behind 3D rail movement is you want to grind as much as possible because rails are just really fast. And when you swap rails like this, you are keeping that rail speed.
Yeah, so
yeah.
even if you, like, say, switch off a rail into, like, the ether, you still have the speed from the rail switch until you land on something again.
You're going to see an example of that, not in this section, but in the next section after this with lightning. Right. Speaking of lightning, we'll get that soon.
This is actually very different from the console game, where jumping on rails, like jumping through rails, is really, really fast on the console version of Lost World. But in this game, you grind as much as you can, unless you're Supersonic. Supersonic actually gains more speed by jumping through
They did a rail
rail
swap to keep that speed going right there, and you're going to see it again at the end of this rail. So we're going to swap.
Yeah, so right here. Yeah, and that you get a ton of speed moving forward from that rail switch. We're going to try to use it again here off of this rail. And we have a huge jump thanks to being lightning, which just lets us go straight past this whole section. Really silly little skip.
So in these greedy grinding sections, it does matter like what curve you're on. So like that's most relevant in this section coming up here. We want to take the inner curve as much as possible, which is going to be this rail right here. So I'm minimizing the amount of time I spend off of that rail right there. It's not a huge time save, but like you take whatever time save you can. So. Yeah. And that applies to like the auto runner section, so you want to be on inner curve as much as possible.
And this is a cool little skip right here, because we can just go ahead and straight get out of here. Get a lightning shield, which lets us grind on these electric. These are actually electrified rails, and pass straight through electrified enemies. So we're just going to be grinding to the end of the stage here. Now, you might want to look at Kirby's ring count.
No, it's not the world record. No.
Kirby forgot to get a few more rings. So normally you can end the stage with 999 rings and completely do almost the entire speedrun route.
The death. It was a death.
Oh, I forgot you died.
Yeah, no, I died.
But yeah, 979 rings is still a lot of rings.
All right. This is probably my favorite 2D stage of speedrun, but also probably the second hardest to do and very punishing because this is a very cycle-heavy stage.
Yes. Yes. Every single section has cycles to make, and they're all like towards the end of the section. But this is such a cool stage, especially with the laser. And this one took, when the initial time that I routed this with the laser, took forever to get a run because it's just such a hard stage to complete. And at the time, I just had no like way to figure out how to use the laser. So that was an uphill battle from when I first started.
So there's a laser that's pretty difficult to grab here. Got it. Okay. I'm kind of doing a blind fall there while slowing down, so it's pretty difficult to get that.
And thanks to the laser, we can skip this entire like wraparound rail.
We're on pace to make the fastest cycle in this section. That was really clean.
And boom. Good. Yeah, so...
All right, here we go. Hard part.
51, very nice. All right. Now we have the second section full of cycles, but some really, really cool movement. So we do this jump here, which just... we go like down this diagonal way, up a wall, and then up a diagonal rail. We just jump straight to the diagonal rail.
Make that one cycle early, but that tiny jump I did, it costed me. Like, it's really tight to make that. Is it worth top routes? No, it's not. Okay.
So this is another new thing from Kirby here, but he found out that you can take, there's a top route and a bottom route here, and they're I think, relatively equal in time.
It depends, but usually bottom's better. Usually.
I forget, what's like the time difference?
Like 5 or 6 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Bottom's typically faster, but like that's in story mode. With laser, it's a little different. But also, generally speaking, bottom's better because making the top route's only fast if you make a ridiculously tight cycle, which I am not getting in a full game run, like ever.
It's a very, very tight cycle because it's all the cycles are crusher based. So if you miss it, you die.
This section has another cycle.
My favorite
by the way.
kind of cycles in Sonic.
Okay. I need to play.
All right, now here's a little bit of tricky movement. Nice, and ooh, that part is hard. That part is so hard to do correctly. Those two wall jumps.
Oh my god, threading the needle.
It's so sick, though. And this is the part where you realize this stage just keeps going.
We're fine.
You're like,
that's a cycle.
Can we get out of here anytime soon? Because you just keep going through loops and jumping through different things. That's how I feel anyway.
All right, last part. Second to last part.
Seriously, I love the parkour in this game. It's such a sick mechanic. Please bring it back. Whew.
All right, not bad at all.
Very nice.
That
That was
very
great.
good.
2:36 used to be the IL, like the fastest recorded time with laser until Kirby figured out how to make an even faster route.
Like that entire third section was fantastic. What is not fantastic is this extra stage.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So we need to kill every enemy. And as we kill enemies, we have to also land on these switches. See, but we also have to navigate all of this with really weird tubular physics.
Yeah, try moving left and right here and tell me how good it feels, if anybody who's played this game.
If you're really high up, you're kind
Ow.
of going left actually makes it go right if you're really high up. Because remember, this is like a tubular gravity.
And if you lose bursts, the camera has no idea where to place Sonic, so you'll just die.
Alright, that actually went pretty well. On the switch.
And here's the worst part about bursts. Pressing these switches. It feels awful.
That was clean at least. Alright.
Nice button.
Part 2. Alright. I delayed getting that burst refresh a little bit intentionally, so we have just enough time to refresh it off of these flames here. That's I'm gonna do a partial charge, then a full charge to kill these hit these turtles. We need to hit them again,
And-
all these chickens.
Yeah, trying to just put as many enemies into the AoE as possible.
Switch to D-pad here, the analog pad.
Oh yeah, that's something we didn't mention, but this game actually has two methods of control. The
I'm refreshing
analog,
it. Set that up.
The analog control stick and the D-pad, and Kirby and I switch between them for different things.
Honestly, me with Saturn Sonic 3D Blast playing the special
Yeah.
stages, I switched to D-pad mode on the. I actually use the 3D pad, so I can use the stick for everything but the special stages.
All right.
See, I used to use the stick, but now I use the D-pad for everything just because it's closer to Genesis.
Weirdo. Then again, I played the Genesis version on GameCube on Mega Collection, so
All right.
I like my notched control stick.
I love my notches
get
too. All right, check out my webcam. There's a reason I'm standing up, and you're gonna see me hold my VS up physically. So this is Critical Sid. I mean, Zor.
Yeah, we call this
Wow.
boss Critical Sid because Sid identifies very strongly with him.
So there are 20 possible locations that Sid can be in, and we need to find the right one. So, yeah, gotta find the correct one. So this is find the correct one randomly. Game. Nope. With gyro controls like
that
this.
becomes very apparent, including seeing Kirby's back.
Okay, that was like around the 16, 17, so not great, but it's okay.
On my old splits, I used to call this boss Sit and Spin. And now we have a cool little strat here that's very kind of like a classic Sonic strat. We're gonna spin dash on top of him to kill him in one cycle.
Only the Reaper wins in the end.
No, I think I'm facing north, so I need to turn around. Ah, okay. Ah, messed it up.
Complex little bit of math that Kirby was able to figure out is where this capsule spawns in relation to where the guy falls, and it's a lot.
It's complicated. I'll get into that. I won't spoil it. I'm going to showcase this boss in the IO showcase, but I can get into the nitty-gritty of that later.
All right, now we have Sky Road.
Oh.
Now this is a really, this is like a very difficult 2D stage, and it's because there's a lot of really weird stuff to interact with in this level that makes it harder to reliably do.
In other words, it's a casino stage. That's all you need to know. All right.
That tells me a
Yeah.
lot. That might not tell the audience everything that they need to know, but it tells me everything I need to know.
Exactly. I knew you'd get it.
Sonic Casino pinball stages are certainly something.
Some of them are more fun than others.
You know
I have
what
yet to
game I
find one.
appreciated for casino stages, honestly? Sonic Rivals 1 and 2. Those two games, and I have a very negative opinion of Rivals 2, but I will say Rivals 2 and Run 1 have pretty good casino stages, honestly, or Carnival in Rivals 1's case.
So we have a mix of pinball and bingo here in order to get to the next area. First, we want a horizontal one so we can grab a laser, and then we take a vertical bingo so we can go up and hit the spring. Now that laser we grabbed is going to help us in this section. Because we're going to take... We're trying... This is the level where the top route probably mattered. Is like one of the most impactful to take. You lose so much time in the bottom route of this level. And now here's a new route that Kirby came up with for the second area.
Dang it. That's random.
That always happens if you're holding the just the wrong decision, like the wrong angle or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know what causes that, honestly. Just blame subpixels. Blame subpixels.
In a 3D game, yep.
Yes. All right.
So we only need to do a vertical bingo here.
That was really good. That was fantastic.
Kirby's using... Yeah, that was. And Kirby's using the, bounce attack to drop immediately onto, the stuff because it cancels.
All right, here.
And now Kirby's trying to go for a really... Nice. Yeah, so he just hit a speed shoes. This is something that Kirby found because he did it by accident.
Yes.
And then he figured out how to do it.
Literally on accident.
Then he figured out how to do it for real. And it's like, this is absurdly faster for the end of the level because you have these speed shoes that just give you so much speed. Which, by the way, are not in the console version. And now it's sub 2.
That was really good. Like, this is the kind of stage
live.
where you are happy to lose only 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds.
Yeah, sub 2 live is absurd.
Like, this is fantastic. That was just fantastic. And I lost time to my PB, because my PB apparently had a 153, I think. That's okay, though. That was still really, really good. So I'm very happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Combat.
Right,
gotta kill 3 pufferfish.
This is the level of all time. Things happen. And that's all we can say about it.
Yeah, Brandino's not a fan of the stage. I kind of agree. I think I dislike it less than him, but it's also... it is a stage. It's a stage. This is one of the stages I have not IO road recorded yet, because I'm just I don't have the motivation to try to completely parse this route out yet. Yeah, so we need to hit, I think, 16 items here to go into Vortex mode, and so you just kind of end up spinning around on this little planetoid to get everything. Or am I?
I was about to say it's...
I lost track of where I went. Where's the thing I need to go to? There it is, okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, and if you always end up taking the wrong way, and then you go halfway around the planet before you realize, oops.
I make this look easy, but my brain cannot comprehend planet areas like that. It just takes me so much time to get that down. And so here we're gonna be climbing up and up and up. So you might have realized that this is Sky Road, and there's no sky and no road. It's casino. This is a little bit different from the console game where the casino levels are in Frozen Factory.
Yeah.
And Sky Road is just kind of made up of assets from Windy Hill and other stages, but they're it's more sparsely populated because it's Sky Road. So we are going to get to the more Windy Hillish part of Sky Road. This level actually kind of serves to bridge the gap between the two versions. And it does that by essentially, I think, saying that the casino is right below Sky Road.
It's honestly really cool, too, I think.
It is pretty neat to have a level that bridges the gap at all, because there's no reason it needs to, but it is neat. Yeah, because now we're literally in a Sky Road section. We've abandoned the casino part of the level.
Good riddance.
And we just hop on some clouds because we get extra jumps from them, and tap the Y button once, and we end the level.
Alright. Act 3. Alright, this is a banger of a stage, and this is the last, full-blown stage you're gonna see, because everything else after this... Okay, actually, we're gonna see Sky Road Extra, but... This is the last full-blown 3D stage you're gonna see. And it's a long one, but also a really fun one. So this is an auto-scroller, kind of, but you do want to go as straight as possible with these rockets, because diagonally is slower. This is gyro control too. And we do want to make one minor detour to grab a burst wisp. And it's actually hard to get than it looks, because there's a single spike ball that juts out towards you in a really weird, jagged way. You're gonna see what I mean soon. Last spike ball to the left, right here. That one. It's so easy to hit that on the left side. Right.
This is another stage that I love to pour time into, and it's probably the longest stage in the game. I think. Still.
Think it is? Alright, here we go.
Alright, lots of really sick movement here. Oh, I almost forgot. This is the burst version, so we're actually gonna do an even cooler variation. So this is something that I did in the supersonic route that we were able to adapt once Kirby did the burst route. But yeah, now we're on top of the stage again.
Turns out skipping stages is fast.
Yeah, that completely blows past most of what you have to normally like wall run on.
That's just what I really like about this game, though. Like, I definitely get that it's mixed, but this is a game that's like really, really platforming heavy, and for me, that's kind of what I really look for a lot more.
Platforming and speed heavy, like because the speed mechanics are absolutely there in their fast.
Oh, okay.
Oh my! What are you? What?
We're okay. We're okay. Nothing happened.
Planned? Do you do that movement?
I'm gonna act like that was intentional. I'm gonna act like that was intentional.
Once again, so speed shoes are very, very fast, and this level has 3 of them.
Oh, by the way, I'll watch this. Yeets.
Yoink.
So yeah, this rocket or riding. So what you're supposed to do is jump from rocket to rocket, and each of these rockets you're passing by are a lot slower, and they burn out. So, because that's kind of the gimmick, you're supposed to jump from rocket to rocket over and over again, and that's how you dodge the dragon too. But this rocket I've been riding this entire time is way faster than all the others and lasts forever.
Like twice as fast as the other rockets or something. It is so absurdly fast, and if you snake it past in just the right way, you don't have to worry about like jumping from rocket to rocket.
You want to keep the fire shield? Oh, rip, I lost it. Oh no, got it back, never mind.
Okay.
Your shields, if you have a shield on and you use a wisp, then the shield is stored.
In the bottom screen.
And a neat little jump off of the water sack there, so this is another cool part. This is like one of my favorite bits of movement in the game, is this whole 3D area right here.
Okay, here we go. Easy to die here, so I gotta be careful.
Another burst wisp.
Speed shoes are carrying into this, by the way, so... Right.
Okay.
Whew. Scary.
Alright, now Kirby needs to hit the speed pad, and he needs to not jump, because the speed from the speed pad's gonna let us clear this gap.
Because you cannot clear that gap normally, but again, boost pads give you more speed on spin dash, usually. And that was no exception.
And we're gonna turn right here to spin dash early, and there's just one more speed shoes, and now this part is really cool. So we're moving so fast here that you can just straight up like jump these gaps without having to move Sonic at all. So Kirby can just take a very straight line.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Yes, that's amazing. 334. The fastest version of the stage used to be sub 4, just barely, like a 355.
All right. Now we're on the last actual main stage, which is 2D in this case. It is the extra stage of Sky Road. And, you know, extra stages are gimmick heavy. I mean, well, yes, gimmick heavy. Wisp heavy, I should say. And you're about to see what that wisp is. And unfortunately, it is a casino stage. Lots and lots and lots of drill. But the stage
boost.
I like the drill segments a lot in the stage. But there is some stuff in the stage I do not think. I am going the wrong direction.
Somebody's thinking about Sky Road Act 1.
Yep.
Caught.
I got caught.
But,
Got me.
I was gonna say, this level dares to ask the question, what if Sky Road 1 was a drill?
Right. Another drill.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this drill pierces the heavens either.
No. So it's a good reference. I've not heard that in relation to this.
Yeah, me neither. That's a good one.
I live to serve.
So there are some really... This level is full of micro-optimization movements that you make between these drill sections in order to kind of move as fast as possible. And then, our good old friend Pinball Bingo shows up to say, hey, do you like ILing this stage? I bet you do.
Yeah, we'd have to do 2 pinball machines.
That for you.
We had to do 2 pinballs in the first version of the stage. So you'll see how many we have to do in this version. Alright, another drill, though. And we're gonna hit a really fast boost pad here. Oh,
this is really trippy. We're gonna... This is really cool, though. Like, we hang on to the bottom of the level, and then drill upwards. That's like, I don't know, it's trippy.
Like, the stage is honestly really cool aside from the pinballs. Like, you don't even see that many casino gimmicks if you think about it. Not many scrap brain wheels or anything like that.
Yeah, the scrap brain wheels are the worst part of the stage normally.
Right, but we're on to pinball again. Right. And we want to take the bottom row because it just takes us on a faster path out. If you go to the top, there is an extra drill there, which is intended to do to get a red ring, but we don't need that, so.
And Kirby wants to jump at the right time to try to hop on that capsule, but you can also just homing attack it if you need to. And now we're going to use this to get past these two guys. So egg pawns are the most powerful enemy in this game. They require a fully charged homing attack to kill. So every time that we can, we want to use invincibility shields to kill egg pawns. And now for some tricky movement to end the stage. This is the IL killer right here. Is the literal end of this nearly 3-minute stage.
We need to get this drill. And drill is required to finish the stage. If you lose this drill, rip time, a lot of time.
And we need to get one horizontal bingo here, and drill...
All of that is over a bottomless pit, by the way, and if you lose this drill, you have to get the intended drill. How do you get the normal drill? You have to get all 24 bingo slots.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sounded genuinely disgusted.
Yeah, no, that's gross.
All right. So
if this was all speed stages, the run would be over. But this is all stages, which means we got a lot more bosses to fight.
This boss, it's one of my favorites to execute, but it is punishing if you fail it. We'll see how it goes. Basically, don't blink if it goes well. We're gonna get a laser. That's not what I want.
Alrighty, so this guy's RNG, so he's either gonna come...
Good.
Nice. So, what happens here is that we want to use the laser in order to either hit him 3 times in quick succession, or to, like, trap him against the wall and use the laser, like, against the wall so that it just keeps staying and hits him up repeatedly.
Very
28,
nice.
though. Wow.
Yeah, I even got the worst pattern. Like, you want him to spawn, if you want the consistent 3-hit laser, you want him to spawn from the top. But if you want the inconsistent but faster laser, you want him to spawn from the side, because when he goes from the side upward, that's faster. But it's harder to get 3 hits with laser on him. All right, now we're in Lava Mountain, and as we alluded to, the rest of this game is a boss rush. So Lava Mountain 1 is our good pal Zaz.
Now, you might remember, way back in Windy Hill, I mentioned that the Zaz has similar. They use the same level from this area in Windy Hill. So all of these levels are laid out exactly the same as their counterparts from the earlier areas, but now they look like fire and have a different floor. And this different floor ends up being a problem for us in this next fight coming up, which is Zomom 2. Because the route that we take for the asteroid to eat all the blocks was kind of focused on some ground textures in the last area. So we have to, like, kind of adapt the route for this area. And he also jumps faster.
Yeah, he's a little more aggressive, so we have to take a slightly different route, but the core route of the eating the blocks is the same. Just this one other block that I'm not going to get because Zomom is a bit more aggressive. So I'm going to swerve around right here to avoid that.
Like I said, what I use to track is like a ground texture from the Desert Ruins version of this, so it's very easy.
Oh, come on.
It's okay.
All right.
Blue, my favorite flavor.
All right.
And he's dead.
Unfortunate.
Oh, and
but that's okay.
I just want to say, too, so yeah, you have to be in full vortex for him to kill him immediately, and that was something that was also found completely by accident. Because one day I was doing a run of this game, and I was fighting this guy normally, and I got sucked backwards and ended up on top of the head, and he died. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe vortex form kills him immediately. And lo and behold, it does. Insta-kill, even in the Lava Mountain variation.
Yep.
I love finding things by accident.
So that fight was a 102. My PB is a 102. If you want to see how I got that, stay tuned after this run.
Yeah, this run, we're going to go into some in-depth, like, IL explanations. Kirby's going to run in, like, set up, like, video playback of some of his best times in this game, and break down what really makes these levels tick at their highest level.
Okay, there is a random... You're supposed to hit her 3 times. After the second time, she almost always blows you away, and you have to get the Lightning Wisp again. But occasionally, she doesn't. And if she happens... And if you get a 3rd hit before she blows you away again, then you just stay like 20 seconds. Have I ever gotten it in a full game run? No. Oh my gosh, she just comboed me there. Oh my god.
You did just get wombo comboed. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Xena OP.
Like that. But luckily, it's still only 3 hits to kill. Next is the other... So, you have RNG with whether or not she goes into, like, the blowing animation with the snowman and, like, the air and everything. And then you also have double RNG here, because here we are. It's back to the Critical Sid boss fight.
Pointless conflict is about to begin.
Alright, so we can't do the funny cheese strat on him this time, because... Before, 12 hits was barely enough to finish him before we reactivated him. Now he takes 16 hits, which is... We just can't hit him 16 times in one go. Unless we use items or supersonic. But we don't have that. So we need to actually do this fight the intended way and find a Quake Wisp. So there are 20 locations, 3 item boxes. I need to find a item box that has a Quake Wisp. That's not it. That's number 4. That's good. Okay. Now I need to play the game again and find a real Sid. And this reshuffles, by the way. So you cannot like find a real Sid and memorize what that is. So you have to redo the entire minigame. Oh, wow. 4 again. That was fantastic.
Wow.
Double 4.
And now we get to use the Quake Wisp. So a cool thing about Quake Wisp is that the timer will freeze when it's in the air, so you can actually drop onto him slightly faster with that, but Kirby does a little strat with the homing attack instead.
And we murdered Zor.
You got so close to saying Quake Wisp. I'm like, new Sonic cereal coming in to celebrate
2 minutes. That was still really
anniversary.
good. Like my gold play is a 2-minute.4. So wow. If you look at the record time, 1:38. So again, tune in if you want to see how that's done after this run. But yeah, that was still a very good fight though. Like honestly, carried by luck, but we take those. All right, now this. Oh boy, I spent like 3 hours on this fight yesterday trying to memorize and practice a flowchart. There's so much stuff I found about this fight. I literally practiced this fight for like 15 minutes before this call, so we'll see if that pays off. If not, you know, well, that's fine. Okay. So, the general idea is the same. We want to not bring him to half health until we're ready to just finish him off. It takes 6 hits to bring him to half health. Stun. 1 spin dash. Charge. Okay, that's fine. Oh, he was going this way? What? Never seen that before. Okay,
There it is.
This boss...
Yeah, didn't get it. Oh well. When he goes clockwise, he pretty much always spins in place and then goes clockwise. I've never seen him go clockwise immediately. That's a new one. Oh well. We just lost like 30 seconds. So this is why you don't want to bring him past health because he respawns all the fruit, goes to that really long animation. He's gonna deflect it the second time because he's low on health. So yeah, I was trying to one-cycle him, and it's very difficult. Like, there's a lot more reliable-ish, like actually doable in a full game run, honestly, and I'm gonna keep going for it, but it's not easy at all. Like, my success rate's probably like 40% with it. 30-40%. Because if you finish him at a good time, you can typically exit around 45 to 50 seconds of in-game time. So just to show how much time we lost from that minor mistake, I just lost 40 seconds from that.
Jeez.
But we have part 2. Zavok. Alright. So, where he spawns is random, but I know what to do with every possible pattern. Let's see. The laser, where are you gonna spawn? Top, okay. That's a little late, actually. I'm gonna have fire this early. Good, got 3 hits laser. 3 hits is not enough to kill him. We need a homing attack and 4 laser hits, and I need to get ready to dodge this. Oh, crap. That's fine.
This fight is done a little bit differently in a sense.
I wasn't facing the right direction.
Don't die! Okay,
It's fine.
it's fine. Good thing that Sonic has an extremely long hit animation in this game.
It's all good. I was not facing the right direction to homing attack him again, so...
And, we're getting close to the end here. Kind of.
Yeah, that capsule landing used to be a complete crapshoot, but you actually have indirect control of Sonic during that entire animation, so you can kind of set up Sonic in the air to have like a more consistent positioning blindly. while Zavok exits the screen like that. I don't even know what time I just got, but it's fine. All right. Time for Egg Robo, the final boss.
That was a 2:30:56, by the way.
2:30:56. You know what?
Yes.
I'll mark that down. That's fine. I'll mark it later. We're not gonna PB, but that's okay. All right, so this is the final boss. This is basically the final boss of Sonic Colors Wii, and it is pretty self-explanatory. We got a slow laser pattern there. So he's always gonna do a laser lightning here. Laser is faster, but how long he fires it for is also random. So we got laser, which is faster than lightning, but a slow laser. This is always burst.
Do you like the Sonic Colors final boss?
Oh, yes.
Would you like to fight it in colors, this, and kind of also forces?
Well, I've got good news for you, because that's what this is.
So yeah, boss takes 5 cycles to kill. The last 2 rounds are pretty much bottlenecked, like hard capped. But we pretty much want to bring him down to that as soon as possible. So for the first 2 cycles, we want to hit him with the full charge homing attack. The 3rd cycle, full charge homing attack is too much. It's overkill, so there's no point in charging it. So you want to do a partial charge instead. So basically, ooh, that's a good pattern. Want to do a full charge, partial charge. And then for the last 2 rounds, no charge at all. That's a good pattern. We want to see double lightning or double laser. Those are the good patterns. So this is the 2nd cycle, and we're going to do a full charge homing attack. Boom. So you can see how low his health is after that, but we still haven't hit like the benchmark, because as long as we do enough damage, that's always going to trigger him into entering his 4th cycle, as long as we reach that HP benchmark. But we can't go past it, basically. So excessive damage is pointless.
Yeah, that was an interesting find.
Oh, drill. There it is. This is the worst pattern. So we got 2 good patterns, 1 mediocre, which is burst, and 1 terrible pattern, which is drill. So that's not bad.
This boss is kind of fun to IL just for the sheer gambling aspect of it, of like, it's not that hard, so it's really just about like, what RNG can I get? And you just, I don't know, if you got like an hour to kill.
That's a partial charge, by the way.
Maybe that sounds terrible to some other people.
I mean, it is, but like, it's also kind of a brainless IL. Like, it kind of just, I just literally watch like Digimon over Twitch streams while they're grinding this IL. Like, I had to IL world record for this boss.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh, you know what I love to do when I IL is listen to audiobooks.
Oh, it's
I
great.
listened to A Song of Ice and Fire twice through, thanks to ILing Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing for the Nintendo DS.
Oh god, that's
like
I still haven't played it.
6 to 8 months. You should play it.
I should.
That's a very
Especially
fun game.
I should learn to speed.
Shout out to,
because it's
you
big.
should learn the speed run and play the game.
So yeah, that was a no charge homing attack, because again, your damage is capped, and now this is the last cycle. That drill quake we just saw, that's not random. He's always going to do it. Just like how he's always going to do a asteroid burst here.
That's partially why this fight is scripted, I guess, is so that you have like the whole wisps come out and like help Sonic like one by one.
Last 2 cycles are entirely scripted. That asteroid vortex does insta kill you, by the way. So I died to that in my first playthrough. I'm like, I have rings. I can turn off my brain. Dead. Oh crap. That was my first playthrough. All right. The game wants you to mash the A button. You can mash both A and B. I lied. It's a B button. All right, so that was the final boss. We haven't done Lava Mountain Extra yet, though. All right. So surely we haven't seen a laser-based stage, right? Well, surely this will be a laser-based extra stage, right? Because lasers are fun. I wouldn't mind it. Oh no, it's just boss
just
again.
kidding.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
so I guess because there is no actual stage in Lava Mountain, that for the extra stage, they were just like, okay, have another boss fight.
Like, which makes sense. I mean, like, I'm not saying it's good, but it makes sense, because all the extra stages are based off of other stages, but they don't have a real stage for Lava Mountain.
It would have been so nice to have actual stages in Lava Mountain in this game. I think that's one of the things that's, like, kind of a gift and a curse. It's like, okay, well, there's no extra hard Lava Mountain stages that you have to worry about, but then it's just a bunch of bosses. You don't get any, like, this whole movement-based game ends with just not an onslaught of bosses.
So this boss is different though. Like the general vibe is the same, but it takes 6 cycles, and you want to do a full charge homing attack every hit. Well, besides the last 2, because for the same reasons as before, they're scripted. But also his attacks are a little bit different. That's good. Double lightning laser is very good. You also need to not get hit. Like that's actually very important, because in the first 4 rounds, in other words, the non-scripted rounds, if you ever get hit, he will attack you again. Whereas in the original version of this boss, getting hit is fine as long as you don't die. He will not repeat any attacks. In other words, you can lose a lot of time if you don't dodge. So you do need to like actually take the dodging seriously. Okay. So the extra version of this boss does have a really cool attack. I hope he showcases it. 1, because it looks cool, and 2, it is the fastest pattern. But I think you can only start doing it starting from the 3rd cycle. 3rd and 4th round, which is this round right here. Do it. Nope, worst pattern, where it is.
Of course.
And he drops the steel balls here early, because this is the extra version, so you need to dodge the steel balls as well. Whereas in the first fight, when he does this, he doesn't drop any steel balls outside of the scripted part. Alright, do it. Do the cool attack. That's a cool attack. So this is a really fast attack. You want this. I don't know why. The first time I saw that, I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. The combo lightning laser.
It's neat to see something do something a little bit different with the boss, because the other attacks are all just like singular wisp attacks that are relatively uninteresting.
Okay, 4th round.
I guess it's like cool that they found like a use for each wisp as like an attack for this boss.
Ugh.
But it feels so forced in, because the wisps genuinely mean nothing to the story of the game. Like, this isn't the same thing as Sonic Colors, where it's like, oh, we're freeing the wisps and all that. It's like,
yeah.
Why are we randomly freeing the wisps in this boss? What did they have to do with anything else in this game?
Yeah, because the entire plot device is like, he sucks the life out of the planet rather than utilizing the wisps for their like hyper go-on energy or whatever it is. So like, it's just like, shouldn't he be utilizing elements of like the various zones, or like, mind you, it's like actually Sonic's world that he sucks the life out of, not the Lost Hex, but still, it's one of those things where you'd prefer like more natural elements rather than the wisp powers.
It really, you feel, I don't know, it's just like, why did they have to keep using this boss style for so many games?
The final boss song in this game, though, is kind of a banger.
It is a banger.
Oh, it's
such
so
a good one.
My brother, who plays 0 Sonic games, likes the song so much he listens to it while he works out.
Oh, that's a banger.
Yeah.
This will be a good workout thing to get you pumped up. But yeah, like, this game's soundtrack is just phenomenal. I think it's one of my favorites. Honestly, Sonic games are almost always really good with soundtracks, but this game is honestly well and above IMO.
It's a really cool, very varied soundtrack, and I think has some ska inspirations, especially in like Windy Hill.
There's oh my god, what in the world is? I only know the console levels, the ones that have you grinding all the time. What in the world is the name of that song?
Seaside
Segway.
Segway.
Yeah, Sea Bottom Segway is like my, besides the final boss track, is like my favorite track. Sea Bottom Segway, unfortunately, in this version, is only heard in Tropical Coast 3, and we spend the entire time like, also, time is about to come up.
Time.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed us yapping during that boss.
Sorry, there was the boss. Anyway, GG's. That was an awesome run.
All right. Well, we had a blast with this. That is all stages of Sonic Lost World 3DS. I see a familiar name in chat. Hi, Yutong. Shout out to the Yutong Vibe you see in chat right there. The Japanese runner who helped with some new strats. But yeah, I was about 50 seconds behind my personal best overall. I was ahead for like 50 seconds, and then Silent Forest happened, unfortunately. But
yeah,
like this run was just so good in the first half. But that's okay, though. It was
overall a very good run, especially for a no reset.
Yeah, no, this was like overall, like, I'm pretty happy with having this run done as a showcase. But yeah. So, I think we will be taking a break soon. But to explain what's going to happen after the break,
sure.
Yeah, so this is actually like original idea that I pitched to Amber. But basically, I kind of mentioned my passion project is pretty much trying to have recorded world record runs of every single individual level speedrun of this game. So if you see the top screen, like the majority of these are the IL world record. Most of them with video on my YouTube channel. So if you like watching Sonic IL speedruns, definitely check out my YouTube channel at same username. I upload an IL PB every Monday and every Wednesday. After break, I'm going to be doing a deep dive and showing off some of these IL World Record videos of my IL World Records, playing them back, pausing through, and doing a deep dive through them. Not all of them, that's going to take forever, but a good chunk of them that I want to show off that have a lot of interesting things to say or are significantly different from what you saw, and so on. So
yeah, and this run helps give a lot of context to, like, you know, what you're doing in a full game run versus like when you're ILing and grinding out for the top time that you've earned. But please do stick around, because there's going to be... I love in-depth showcases on the show a lot, and having the run beforehand, you know, helps give a lot of context to what you're about to see coming up. So we're going to take a very brief break. While we get that set up, Brandino and Kirby will be back with more Sonic World DS. Wow, Sonic Lost World 3DS. Jeez, I promise I can words. Anyways, we'll be back right after this short break. Please stick around, but make sure you're taking care of yourself along the way. So we'll be right back after this. All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 67 of Passion Project. This is the best place on Twitch to showcase the world to the world what you love the most in speedrunning and gaming. I'm going to go ahead and turn things back over to Kirby Mess and Brandino as we are celebrating Sonic's 35th anniversary, and we're going to go in depth into a number of the individual levels that make up the all stages run of Sonic Lost World 3DS. So go ahead and take it away, you two.
Right. So I'll reintroduce a little bit of context about what this passion project is. I kind of got into Sonic Lost World 3DS as a result of a project I worked on last year, and thanks to a lot of work from other runners, and especially Brandino, I was able to help. This is like a community effort to get this game to the point where it is. And one of the goals I've had is to have, well, one, the world record for every normal mode stage in the game, but more importantly, also having some video documentation of every stage that showcases off like all the strats that we're aware of to push every time to what's known. So before I came into the scene, Brandino actually made this spreadsheet. This is a copy of the spreadsheet I made based off of Brandino, but this is something Brandino shared with me a while back. And like at the time, there were a lot of times, if you look at carefully, there's like a bunch of like fastest recorded times, super rooster times, fastest video, and fastest recorded times were the times that were known from the online leaderboards at the time. And Super Rooster is a runner on Sonic Center who also had a lot of ridiculously good times. And so for a long time, we didn't know how to get anywhere close to like any of these times. Like we would like Desert Ruins Extra, the big Quake stage. I think the fastest video we had was like 150, almost 2 minutes. Like it was just 20 seconds slower than what Super Rooster had. And we just did not have any idea on how to get that until just so much rerouting has happened. And that's kind of, this chart kind of sums up what the gist of Passion Project itself. Like pretty much filling out this table and hopefully getting the fastest recorded time in every single stage here. There's also a hard mode for every stage, but I'm not doing that yet. And so, yeah, it's also really thanks to Brandino for organizing this in the first place and documenting at least the times that we're all aware of. Like you can see a few here, like there's a time for Desert Ruins 2 that I haven't got taken yet, or Windy Hill 2. I think this is Yutong's time, actually, who we mentioned before. And there's another one in Tropical Coast 2. This is the Apple stage, where the fastest currently known time is 103, and I currently only have a 104. So what we're going to do is kind of a showcase of some of these stages, the ones that I have, IRL world records I have for these stages. So these are not live, but these are video playbacks, but I'm also going to be doing kind of a really big deep dive into how these stages play out and how they're so different from the full game run you just saw. So What you're gonna see here is Windy Hill 1. The first main stage in the game, excluding tutorial. So I'm gonna play through like parts of these videos, and after each section, if there's something I want to pause through, then I'll like go back and like step through what's going on here. So I'll go ahead and start off with Windy Hill 1 here. All right. So that's the stair climb I did at the start of the run, and that's really difficult to do. But the big thing here is you'll see how much cleaner this is because I have the liberties to just reset if I mess it up. Those bops right there are really hard, and that's a new strat that Yutong shared like, it's like 2 weeks ago. So to kind of deep dive through that really quickly, these jumps I'm doing right here are really difficult because you cannot touch a single wall. So you have to jump high, but if you touch a wall, you will parkour. So I'm like deliberately trying to jump around all these walls.
And it's a really, really fast sequence of walls. Like, you don't have a lot of space to work with, so you just have to know to jump to the one to the next very quickly.
And this is probably one of the hardest things to do in the entire speedrun, like not even joking. Trying to get that bop, all these enemy bops, to make it cleanly on top of this ledge here. And if you hit the wall here, usually this dragonfly you see is gonna snipe you. Thankfully, I've messed this up so many times, I know exactly what to do, so... Because you don't get good here without messing up a bazillion times, so... Alright.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what I did in the full game run was, you see that giant island on the right side? I jumped to the right side and wall climbed up to the top, but what you're gonna see here is landing on the left side instead and jumping off of it. Jump like that. And that's really difficult to do because you need to avoid this wall. That's the entire point of this. You need to avoid this wall so you are on the correct wall. So you have to kind of pull yourself back, but not so far back where you overshoot to the really far to the right. And so that was really clean. Like, of course, I think this is my best time I've ever gotten, 550. Usually I get like a 590, 60.0, something like that. So everything here is pretty much the same as the full game run, just cleaner. And like, getting a really clean first section is such a big deal because the faster you do the first section, that stacks up even more into the second section because we have speed shoots even longer. So we're carrying these speed shoots really far into the stage. And now I'm going to use Asteroid right here. We need to eat that worm because we need to grow to... That worm that we just ate will get us into Vortex mode at the right time. So the cloud that I just hit there, when you hit a cloud, and we didn't talk about this at the time because there was so much going on, but when you hit a cloud with Asteroid, you usually yeet yourself up really high. So you're going to see that happen right here after you hit the spring. Yeet, yeet. But you would normally overshoot that ledge if you keep hitting that cloud. So what you need to do to not overshoot it is you need to do an extra meta jump to cancel that, but you need to do it at the right time so you don't overshoot that too much. And it's like really minor time save, but this is an IL, so like you're trying to shave frames everywhere as you can. So I did another jump right there to cancel that cloud from overshooting.
Stuff like this is very emblematic of the fact that ILs are just a completely different beast from running RTA. Like, there's a ton of stuff that you're trying to figure out on a micro level with these that you just probably aren't going to be doing if you're running like just a full game run. I think that's something to keep in mind here is that like ILs are just an entirely different animal from regular RTA running and a completely different mindset to have because ILs are literally, like Kirby said, every frame counts.
That's correct. Like, so for folks at home who may not be familiar with RTA versus IL is individual level. RTA is real-time attack, so that's usually pertaining to full game runs. And there's such a huge difference between having to like run a level that's a minute and 17 seconds versus something that's like upwards of an hour to an hour and a half, where like minor like mistakes or minor inconsistencies in your run in the full grand scale of things, like in a full game run, don't matter nearly as much as a single mistake like matters here in individual levels.
And that, like, even though like we try to go for consistent strats in like longer categories, that actually still applies to longer ILs. Like there are ILs where I take things a little bit safer because like the IL is just so long and it's so difficult and it's just not even like just so absurd to try to get everything in one go in a more difficult IL. All right. Yeah. So that was Windy Hill 1. I'm going to show off Windy Hill 3. There's going to be a lot of cool, smaller things that are going to be a little bit different in this stage. And this is this 2D stage of Windy Hill. So this section is going to be mostly the same, but there is going to be a slightly different strat I'll do in here. All right. Bop that. Now, in the full game run, you jump off of the slope because you hit 2 crystals in the air, and that just yeets you into the hoop really, really reliably. And it's super easy, super reliable. Brandino came up with it. It's a really slick strat.
That's I call that diamond jump. I had a bunch of names for it, a bunch of tiny little strats. But yeah, this level is full of the micro optimization here, and it's impressive because this started for me. The goal was really sub 130 for a very long time, and then finally I got like a 127, and then Kirby came in and has like a 124 now. So that's just a testament. Like this level just so fast and keeps getting faster.
So like the thing I'm going to do that's different here is jumping off of this really small flat piece of ground here, which saves about like a 0.3, 0.4 seconds over the diamond jump, I think. But you have to jump off of this flat ground. You can't jump off the slope. It's pretty tight to do, actually, because you're going so fast. So I don't go for that in the full game run. And then what I'm going to do is aim this laser. There's a Zaz skip that's coming up. Where if you hit the Zaz trigger, you lose like 30 seconds. So I'm carefully aiming this laser to hit the ceiling intentionally. So I hit that spring earlier. I'll show that off again. Because if you don't bonk there, then you're going to be higher up, and you'll take an extra half second to hit that spring. But of course, if you hit Ricochet off the ceiling too early, you'll dive down and trigger Zabok. Not Zabok, Zaz. So this, I think, is pretty much all the same as the full game run, I think. I don't think there's much else to say here. There is one small improvement that this run could use that I haven't implemented yet. Which is right here, where I'm going to land on that ledge you see, but you can actually skip that with a well-timed mid-air jump, and I haven't done that yet. So this is an aisle that I may go back to at some point. See, I do like an extra jump there, but you can avoid that. But very difficult, though. And here's another Zaz skip. This one's pretty straightforward, so you just angle your laser a tiny bit up, mid-air jump to avoid the trigger. So this section is a really hard part. So I'm going to play through pretty much like the next 30 seconds first, just so you can see how smoothly it goes, because this is like practically perfect-ish gameplay. Ish, relatively speaking. Boing. Okay. So the rest of this is spin dashing into the Zaz skip. So there's a lot of smaller stuff that actually happened and all that, so I'll go do that really quickly. So this is the start of the third section. And what you want to do here is spin hop into this beetle, which is really hard to do. I do it like probably 30% of the time in full game runs because there's no reason not to go for it. But when you hit that beetle, you just get extra height and you can skip running up part of this wall. And then...
And you carry a little bit of speed from the bop too.
And this is probably the hardest jump in this IL because I actually broke out a spin dash here. And the reason for that is... what you can do is there's a rock and a laser wisp coming up, and the really consistent thing to do is homing attack both, but that's slow. So what you want to do is jump off of the slope and bop through them. But if you jump too late, you will jump really vertically and not reach the rock. But if you jump too early, you will grab the ledge. So I'm going to do a really clean jump like that to bop both of those. Aim this laser. How far you get up there is like pseudo-random, but it's not really too big of a deal. And then we kind of just go really, really fast here. There's one tiny time loss here that I haven't really been able to really piece out yet, because I skip homing attack the enemy, but I clip the ledge right there, which loses me a bit of time, unfortunately. And then this is the last Zaz skip, where in a full game run, you would take your time to set yourself up. But in an IL, that loses time, so you just YOLO it, like that. And you get a 123. So... Again, like, you just YOLO it right here. And my cue, I have a kind of a visual cue of where to spin dash, actually. So, like there's that ring right there. There's, like, a tiny piece of foliage in the background that I try to aim my spin dash off of. I do that in a full game run, too. I just take more time to make sure I'm in the right spot. And I will usually get you across pretty consistently. So that was Windy Hill 3.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask, like, you know, how many visual cues have you built up over the course of, like, learning this run? Because a lot of 2D or even just any game runners, like, that I know usually develop their own visual or audio cues for figuring out different strats, or where do I jump, where do I charge a spin dash, etc.
You're talking to the king of audio cues over here. All of his audio cues are like, I listen for 16 musical beats and I press A. or something of that nature, because we have almost that exact strat later on, which we'll probably talk about. But Kirby, like, that's the main way that he processes a lot of the strats that he does, is through audio cues.
This is Windy Hill Extra, by the way. I forgot to mention that to Richard, to the setup production team. But yeah, that's the first section, and that just went by really quickly, didn't it? So what we need to kill that caterpillar to get the burst wisp, and then kill every single enemy, all these purple badniks, all the flying ones, and we need to kill explicitly the right caterpillar worm thingy. And that is so difficult to do. So I'll show this one more time. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to bounce attack into it and hit it 3 times in a row. And doing that quickly is basically random, because how you bounce off of it is complete crapshoot. Sometimes you'll bounce so far away, you have to do like an extra homing attack, and at that point your run's over, you reset. And then getting that burst wisp is really annoying in itself, because like right around where that worm is like a kind of an invisible wall. Like, there's like a circular invisible wall around that worm that you have to jump around to get the burst wisp. But if you jump too high, you're not going to get burst. But if you jump too low, you're going to slide off to an invisible wall. So to answer Amber's question, I actually have a lot of visual cues for this, which is kind of funny. So like I burst as I pass the dark portion of the floor right there. I release a full burst. And then I'm a little bit farther right than I should be, but I normally line myself up with the purple enemy in the 7 o'clock position with the D-pad. But I'm a little bit farther left than I normally would be, but I'm doing a full charge here. Then I do a partial charge, then I full charge and wait until I think the top 3 green enemies are off screen. Blow up like that. So, and that works really consistently, actually. I do that in full game runs too. What is not something you do in a full game run is killing this last worm, because normally the consistent thing is to just use a full charge burst to kill the worm below me, but that's slow. I'm going to do a partial charge and do that. And that is stupid, because if you touch this worm, you will bounce off of it and lose your burst. Well, your burst charge. But you have to be really close in order to actually kill it with a partial charge. So like, boom, like that. Like if your run survives past the first worm and getting burst, half of them will just die to not getting this guy at the right time. So there's so much tiny things going on in these first 10 seconds. This section is relatively straightforward.
Yeah, that's a very good example of like various ways to come up with visual cues, because like I guess a follow-up question for you to answer at your own leisure is like, what would you recommend to runners who are newer to speedrunning and trying to learn how to come up with visual cues that help them the most? Like, you know, what's the methodology or any advice you have for that?
You know, at least for me, visual cues, I rely on ground textures and background stuff. A lot of Sonic games are like, I jump when I see Sonic go right past this flower in the background. And I have some of that in this game. And so, for me, development of visual cues is all about, like, you literally just look around at, like, ground textures or anything that you can grasp onto and be like, oh, yeah, whenever I see this plant, I'm gonna do this thing.
Right.
It can be a little bit harder, but that's at least how I look at it. I don't know about you, Kirby.
Yeah, I'm usually looking for stuff like that. Like, a lot of my visual cues in Sonic is like, say, like Sonic Advance 2. I usually jump at them when I see like a specific ring, or I hear like a ring I get, or like if I pass by an enemy, stuff like that. So like usually like I find visual cues when I study other runs, see what works for them, see when they jump, and I try to find something that's easily identifiable so I can like react to that appropriately. So yeah, there is one thing I want to really talk about really quickly on this here.
For sure.
Yeah. So this burst looks simple, right? No, that burst activation I just did is like one of the most awful things I've ever done. Okay, so the go fast button is the R button on 3DS. The activating burst is a touchscreen input, and you want to activate burst while you ascend, meaning you have to be holding the A and B button as you activate burst while holding the R button. So my entire right hand is already taken up by the R button, the A B button, and I need to have a finger ready for the touchscreen. But I also have to have that grip ready while I do the spin hop here and then move left a bit. So I need a finger on the D-pad and a finger on the Y button as well. So I literally I can show this on webcam. I literally do this. Like I put a finger on. I think I do this on the D-pad, thumb on where the burst wisp is, while I use my right hand to tap Y, hold A or B, and hold the R button. They're all during this maneuver right here. And I have to maintain that grip this entire time.
It reminds
I don't
me
do that in
of
full
playing
game runs.
Phantasy Star on controller and just like having to navigate to like different
just
weapons or
awful.
healing items. The claw
It's so
grip.
awful, but like it's really important to do that though, because like when you activate burst as you ascend, you get a lot of height like that, and that actually really matters in this next part here, because that means you can get away with one less charge burst start, saving like a half second. So like
that's like
important.
I do something like that too. I'm playing Banjo-Tooie right now on N64 with the 64 controller, and so sometimes you need to turn the camera with the C buttons and be doing actions like jumping or pressing the B button, and so I have to claw grip it where my thumb is pressing A or B, and then I have my pointer finger pressing the camera
Oh my
buttons.
god,
Yep.
that's awful.
That's how I mess with the that's how I mess with the controllers for sure for N64. Oh my god.
All right. For the production, we're on Zaz now, so Windy Hill Zaz. All right. So what we did with Zaz, this fight's gonna look completely different. This was thought to be task only too, by the way. So what you would normally do is use burst and blow him up 4 times. You blow him up once. Yeah. That looks easy. No, it is not. It is like one of the most awful things I've ever done. Like this is probably one of the hardest boss battles I've ever done in my life, and I've done so many Sonic Advance 2 boss battles. Like this is just awful to do. Because like I think you have to so like you have to blow him up first. And then you have to not charge your burst, because if you have a fully charged burst and you start ramming into him, you lose all control of yourself. You can't turn around or anything like that. So, but you still have to start charging before you touch him. And when you start ramming into him, you need to, let's see. You have to ram into him, I think, 10 times and then release your burst. The problem is you need to turn around the moment you go past him, which is pseudo-random. So like, right there, I just went past him and I turned around in that instant so I can like start hitting him really quickly again. You can go past him on a 3rd hit, 4th hit, 5th hit, 6th hit, basically random. And if you try to react to it, you're losing time. You lose like a lot of time if you try to react to it, actually. So you just have to pick a number and just assume that's when you turn around. And you have to turn around at the perfect angle so you don't like go past him either. So like, in here, I'm waiting until I think hit number 5. Then I just ran the analog pad in the opposite direction and just pray that that was the perfect time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. It is so awful to do this. Like, I think I've gotten this strat like a total of 4 or 5 times ever, and this is the fastest I've ever done it. And again, there's a reason why this was considered task only for a while.
Yeah,
But,
I could totally understand that.
It's just so awful. All right. So that was some of the Windy Hill stuff.
Kirby thankfully was able to do a lot of boss routing and strats, because I absolutely never liked the bosses in this game. I made a whole category so that we didn't have to do the bosses.
Okay, Run Desert Ruins 1, by the way. This is a longer stage, so there's like one thing I'll like step through, but the rest of this is pretty smooth cruising. So it's a pretty cool stage. But like going back to the visual cues and audio cue stuff, Brand, did mention that I'm a huge fan of advocate for audio cues, and that's very true. Like, you obviously have to know when to use them. Like, for example, in story mode speedrun, when you have 2 forced Zaz encounters, and the music starts at the same time always, but you can't speed up the encounter, so there's a way to time your spin dash out of the encounter that lines up with the music, and I found like a specific beat to do that consistently all the time as soon as possible. Stuff like that. There's a lot of audio cues I have for like Save Sonic Pocket Adventure as well, like trying to jump at a specific theme to the boss, because the boss theme always plays at the right time before a boss spawns. Stuff like that. Okay, so if you recall from before, we want this asteroid to run out, so we can pick up that asteroid you see in the distance on the right side, and we can conserve that for later. But obviously, if we dilly-daddle too long, then we're losing time because it would take longer to get that asteroid. So we kind of want to let this asteroid run out like frames before we touch that asteroid capsule. So you're gonna see what happens here. Like you can see me deliberately slow down and boom, grabbed it. I'm pretty sure if I was like a few frames earlier than that, I would have refreshed asteroid. So you can see me slow down here, go for it again. Boom. And now I'm trying to make this tight jump. You want to line yourself up to the side of the sandstorm. And then you want to jump off the bare corner so you can barely make it to the next ledge without touching the wall, because, again, wall running is really slow. So make that jump, which is a really tight jump. And then we kind of just keep going straight forward here. This is one of those stages where, like Brandino and I mentioned, that one of the boost pads coming up is faster than the other, since this, I can actually pause the video. That boost pad coming up gives you more speed than all the others. So, like, what you want to do is hit this boost pad, then avoid all the others until you have to jump. This aisle doesn't actually do it perfectly, but it's not too big of a deal. You don't lose much time. So I'll successfully avoid that one, but I hit this one in this IL. But in the run I just showcased, I actually avoided it successfully by skirting the bare edge under right sand, because you need to not avoid the dark sand as well. So you kind of need to like barely be in between the right boost pad and the dark sand to clear that. But I hit it, unfortunately, losing speed, but it doesn't really cost much time, so I just keep going. But that is probably like the major time loss of this IL, really. But the rest of this IL is really good. But yeah, we pick up an asteroid because the asteroid that you're intended to grab for an upcoming part is by killing that worm, and that's really slow, so we don't want to do that. But this has like kind of become one of my favorite stages of speedrun though. Like the stage is just a really fun showcase of just pure 3D movement overall with some cool asteroid movement. And again, one of the things I like about this game a lot is the wisps overall. It's just kind of a nice spice of gimmicks with the wisps alongside classic Sonic movements.
Yeah, I feel like it's mixed very well into the gameplay here in Lost World compared to Colors. Not that Colors like is bad at it either, but it's just like it is utilized a little differently here. And I think especially in these time attack stages where you have the wisps unlocked earlier than intended as well, it just kind of takes better advantage of the wisps in interesting ways, like more interesting ways than what Colors often executes.
Yeah, that's why this game's awesome. And again, I mentioned before, like, that on top of the fact that this game has a really heavy focus on platforming, actually. And like, I know there's kind of like that meme of like, oh my god, Sonic is just boost to win nowadays. But like, I don't want to say that, but there's definitely like a different, I guess, philosophy with the level design. Like, you can kind of just see how different the level design is between Lost World and like the boost
every game
games
that came after it. Yeah.
And yeah, Lost World is just this amazing little black sheep of the franchise, especially in the modern era, because I don't know, look at a game like Shadow Generations and it's like, could you imagine a Lost World like level kind of like remade in like Generation style? It would feel so weird.
That's what ruins Extra, by the way. So
oh boy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is the gauntlet. This is a bunch of really tricky movement and just some very tight platforming with your gyro control.
This is like a really confusing stage. I think it's worth taking like quick 15 seconds to explain the first section. So in this first section, you're on like a really long section platform. You start on like the front part of it actually, and every time you take a teleport, you go farther and farther back. To unlock the next section, you need to kill every single sandstorm. The more sandstorms you clear, the more teleports you unlock to take you further back. I think like previously, the original route for this took, I think, like 5 trips. Excuse me. No one heard that. This has reduced this down to like, I think 3 trips now. The run you just saw took 4 trips for safety reasons. We'll get into that in a bit. But as a reminder, we're going to be using the Quake Wisp, which is gyro controls. So we're going to take damage through the spike wall. I did this in the run again. Cancel it here. Take this teleport. Quake here, which takes out both sandstorms on both sides. And then we're going to take the right teleport, because that is, we need to kill 4 sandstorms to unlock the next teleport. Right there. And now that teleport takes us to the very far back of this platform. So what I did in a full game run was, here, I took the left route. Took another teleport back here, and I took the right route. So that took 2 trips. You're going to see something completely different here instead. So I'll let this kind of speak for itself. Avoid that boost pad. Get that. Flip through that. Carefully navigate and avoid that platform, because you need to not touch any platforms, otherwise you roll off it. And then we just cleared all that in 1 trip. That's a really tight jump, again, because you need to make sure you don't touch any ledges with Quake, otherwise you lose time. And that's that entire section done in 40 seconds. In the run you just saw, it took me like 46 seconds, because I took that safely. This is mostly the same as the full game run here. One thing I didn't point out is you need to jump on the platform I'm about to touch and tilt left and then go perfectly straight to land on that ledge. And I did that successfully in the full game run. Bandino did it in his run too when he showcased all speed stages. Like, this is not easy to do. Like doing that jump right there. That right there.
Yeah. And it's just to save a tiny amount of time because you get this little, like, you get kind of like thrown up the wall a little bit weird if you don't.
We do need to kill all 9 of these badniks to get our quick refresh. It looks slow, but it's worth it because the other route is just so much slower. All right, so Brandino touched on these quake jumps, and like, yeah, as he mentioned before, when you jump into these gray rocks, you get an extra double jump, basically. That skips these springs, which saves quite a bit of time. And there's one that I opted not to go for, because it's really dangerous because you're going so fast. And I'm going to go for it here because it's an aisle right here. That right there. You have to jump really early for that. And then, in the full game run, I killed all those enemies, but it is faster to not kill them and just take damage instead. But that's really dangerous because, like, you can just fall off so easily. So, like, again, watch carefully.
These platforms are tiny. The Quake Wisp takes up maybe like half of them by itself.
I know.
Feels you have like no space to work with here. The fact that you can even do this strat at all is impressive.
Yeah, like, that's why we do kill these enemies. Not to kill the enemies, per se, but because it's to force yourself to stop in place while this platform moves to the right. But that's a little slow, so in an IL, we intentionally roll into that spike and take a rebound, and then carefully navigate that to not fall down. So it's like, I've had a lot of runs die to that little maneuver right there. So it's very scary. But yeah, and that is Desert Ruins Extra. And you can see how that is just really different. 1:35, that is just a very fantastic time. And this is a run that I'm very happy with, so very good run. Okay, so Tropical Coast 1 is coming up, and Brandino and I hyped up a skip, and you're gonna see that. This is an outdated run. Is it? Yeah, no, that's actually a slower strat. This is one of those runs I have not. I need to improve because I think this video is a 2:03. Rooster has like a 2-minute time, and it's possible to get sub 2. So this is one of those stages that I have not gotten the IL record. That I do want to work on this, but it's still fun to showcase this, especially because we're gonna get to see the fun little glitch that you have not seen yet, that I missed. Right. Okay. First part is mostly pretty straightforward, though. I think at the time I did this, I think the gold standard for exiting section was like a 56, but now, like, with all the changes... Oh, wow, this is the older route. Wow, I forgot.
Yeah, this is like slightly different because now we do like the little red ring route.
Yeah.
Slightly faster.
I ran up a giant wall for that in the run I just did.
So going into the second 2D section here is really what's important. So you have to be moving after. So we're gonna grab a what's it called? A drill capsule coming out of these 3 tornadoes here, and Kirby wants to line himself up perfectly so that he's moving straight down and as fast as possible. Because again, we want the drill wrist to run out right as he hits a pipe up here, which will enable what we call ghost mode. So this is pretty sick. Ready?
Watch this carefully.
So now we're gonna go through walls. You can't see it, but Sonic is absolutely soaring behind the level here. And Kirby's gonna jump and position downwards so that he can hit this capsule right about here.
We still have the ghost mode, by the way. So we
yeah,
can
the
just
drill
go
doesn't care about anything now.
We do need to fix the glitch, though, unfortunately. So I entered a green pipe intentionally, because if you hit the capsule with ghost mode still active, then Sonic will... When Sonic ends the stage, he hops off the capsule to pose. But if you do that with ghost mode, he hops through the floor.
You'll just die.
You just, for like 30 seconds, and just die. So you have to fix the glitch, unfortunately. But yeah, 204. My actual ILP was, I think, a 202. I forgot. I thought I had this set up, but apparently not. But I can just literally check my 3D. Yeah, it's a 202. The record is a 2-minute time, though.
To answer the question that just happened in chat about why you're aura farming with one hand, this is actually video. So we just did an all stages run live. This is playback of Kirby's IL times, like his PBILs, and we're breaking down how these strats work and how these levels work in a speed run, especially when you're grinding them individually instead of just necessarily in the full game context. So he's aura farming with one hand, like explaining, and the other one is probably on his keyboard controlling the like the buffering of the video.
I haven't done something like this in a while, ever since Nuclear's show from Victory Lap. But yeah, so this is Tropical Coast 3. So what we did before is we kind of just went straight up with... So this is a stage where you kind of just run on top of the water. So we activate drill. I use an audio cue. I listen for 9 measures, and on beat 2, I go straight up, and that pops you out of the water at the perfect time. That's slow, by the way. You're going to see something completely different here. So I'm going to activate drill late, in this case.
Yeah, coming out of the water early with drill was something that Kirby came up with because it's just way faster than actually having people in the water.
Let this play out.
Yawning.
You can't yawn like that. You're gonna get me to yawn.
Right.
Sorry.
So I'll play that again really quickly. But normally in the full game run, you would go straight up like around here. But not what I'm doing here is instead going up here, so I can set up a wall jump off of that. And again, if you wall jump on the surface of water, you get a lot of speed, and it saves like about a half second. How easy is that? There's a reason I don't go for it.
Exactly where you have to jump off from.
Yeah, so like this is really difficult to do. Like there's just so many things you have to keep in mind because you have to go up at the right time first. Because drill has to run out the moment you exit the water. You have this whirlpool that's like blocking you, so that kind of screws with things. But like just before you pop out of the water, you have to level yourself out as horizontally as possible. Because like if you're going pure vertical, then you're not going to have much lateral movement. And if you don't have much lateral movement, you're going to run up the wall instead of laterally. So you have to time it so drill runs out before the water, and you're almost perfectly horizontal as you exit the water, and you're also at the wall perfectly. So like right there, it just barely ran out. I'm like almost perfectly horizontal, and I touched the wall perfectly in time, and I get that. And that is easily the hardest part of this entire stage. Like, it is so awful to do. Oh, and one minor thing here. You want to hit the top of that drill capsule so you can keep spin dashing. I usually don't get that in a full game runs. It's a little risky to go for. And there's that same exploit again. You wall jump off the surface of the water to go really fast. There's one other interesting thing I'll bring up in this IL that's like a little different. But yeah, as Brandon said, you go so fast with that exploit on top of the water. It's nuts.
And yeah, we're just lining up here to like hold up as fast, hold up as much with a straight line as possible.
We like to. I don't think we called it this toilet, did we? In the run we just did. You know, it's a toilet.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. We call this the toilet bowl section because you're spinning around a lot in the water and there's pipes. So, the toilet. Sorry, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And this room's been officially ruined.
All right, one tiny thing here. If you hold up on a D-pad, you can just go perfectly straight, and it's so convenient. But it is about a half second slower than going around like this, because being airborne, well, airborne in the water, is really slow.
Yeah, you want to stick to the ground and spin dash at all times. That is your fastest movement.
Yeah, like if you're not in water, then jumping is usually not really too big of a deal. But like in water, jumping is way slower than staying on the ground. So what you want to do here is you want to activate drill as early as possible because believe it or not, drill is faster than being in the air while in spin dash mode. So I'm going to activate drill like at that 5 ring. That's my visual cue actually. But in the full game run, I activate it much later for safety purposes because like again, we want to be in drill as much as possible, but we also need to give ourselves just enough space so we can grab the next drill. So watch the drill meter carefully. And it almost ran out, but we grabbed the next drill just in time. So you want it to be almost, you want to like barely grab that, just so you can maximize the amount of time spent with drill, because it's just a lot faster than not being in drill, at least if you're not on the ground. So that's one minor thing. That's one little thing that I do in the aisle, but not in a full game run.
Like we said before, we're using the D-pad to move left and right, and not tip the drill up or down at all, because that is a death sentence for 3D drill.
Play with the mic setting really quickly. Okay. But yeah, this is also another toilet. Just ruining another room for Amber.
No!
All right, and that's stage in 234. So yeah, I've grown to like the stage a lot. It's definitely pretty brutal, but also like it feels very satisfying when you nail it pretty cleanly. Okay. All right, so this is going to be Tropical Coast. Almost said Tropical Resort. Tropical Coast Extra. This is one of those stages. I think the record the record was like a 106, 107 for a while, and then there's just been so much stuff found that that brought this down to like a 102. So like I think the first section's pretty clear, pretty straightforward. I actually nailed all the IL strats in the first section in the run I just did, actually. So that was really clean. Like, this actually went really well in the run I just did. So, like, it's not going to look too different. Although, I guess, there's one thing I just did right there. So lightning movement is weird because, like, when you zap yourself into something, you can cancel that by jumping. Like that. And that is faster than, like, fully latching onto something like that today. So
if you latch onto those pegs, Sonic spins around in a circle on top of them.
So I'm going to cancel that with a mid-air jump. But like again, when you jump as you latch onto something, that uses up your mid-air jump. So you have to be careful of that. That means you cannot do that consecutively because it's your mid-air jump. So now I have like a very careful lightning route here to take advantage of AoE as much as possible. And I entered this at 18 seconds, which is absurd. I think when I IL'd this, I normally enter this at like 18.8, 18.9. So this is fantastic. And then you're going to see some really tight jumps that I went for in the run I just did because I'm an idiot and I got all of them. So you're going to see those same jumps again here. That jump over the spike is so dumb, by the way.
Yeah, you have like no time to actually double jump.
And now killing these robots is also annoying because like it's not random, but it feels random. So you kind of need to make sure you're moving in the same direction that you zap into because the AoE from lightning kind of comes after the first hit. So like I'm continuously moving forward diagonally to make sure all these robots die simultaneously. But it's less reliable than going straight.
You need to be like dead center.
Right here, you kind of see me canceling some of those lightning jumps, lightning rod zaps for some jumps, but only alternating because you can only do it once. You can't do it consecutively. And then we're going to see the turtle kills, which, again, went pretty well in the run I just did. Like, yeah. And as Brandino mentioned in that run, you want to aim for the flying enemies to take advantage of their AoE, because that does hit the turtles. And this is really janky because what I'm going to try to do is zap the front right enemy into the left front, the back left, and then the back right. And that gets all three turtles. Front left, back left. And then I kind of do like a maneuver around to get that one. It looks really weird, but trust me, there's a reason for that. And that's because in these stages where you're like kind of constantly moving forward, in some stages at least, you can't homing attack something behind you. That goes for lightning too, which is really weird. Like once I realized that made zapping that guy on the right side way more reliable because like if I just go straight right and try to zap it, it's not going to work most of the time. So I kind of move back a little bit and then so that enemy right there is like a little bit ahead of me and then I can zap it somewhat reliably to get a really fast kill there. And you get a 102 there, which is again a ridiculously good time. So that was Tropical Coast, not Resort, Coast. Extra. All right.
Too many similar named levels in Sonic. Also similar abbreviations.
All right. Frozen Factory 2. This is Brandina and one of my favorite stages. This stage is really awesome. There's one really interesting to note that I'll point out in this last section, but for the most part, you're just going to see some really clean movement here. If you're playing without Laser Wisp, you're pretty bottlenecked by the ice vents coming up, but we are using lightning, so every bit of movement we do here does matter a lot. And if you make that all cleanly, then you're going to see me just fall through this next gap really smoothly, right here. Like that. So sexy to nail that. My god, it feels so good.
Like butter.
So, I'm going to let this play out first just to see how the movement is. Although, to be fair, I actually nailed most of this in the run I just did too. But this is a pretty cycle bottleneck stage right here. Because after we use this laser and do like another series of jumps, we kind of have to wait for some platforms. And land on that. And I was like pretty well ahead, actually. I had a lot of leeway with that. So this is the main bottleneck of this section. And I'm going to go ahead and explain one quick thing here. So this jump right here, I have a visual cue. There's like a little plant with that looks like a ice cream cone in the background. I do a jump right here, actually. You want to make sure you do your mid-air jump at the perfect time, because if you do your mid-air jump too early, you will homing attack that penguin. If you do it too late, you will grab the ledge, and that can be enough time timeless to not make the cycle, by the way. So getting the double jump is really difficult.
There's a lot of stuff like that in this game too, where you like double jump without really being able to completely see what you're double jumping against, kind of, you know? And so you can end up homing attacking things that you don't want to homing attack, or just like stuff that's slightly outside of your range ends up messing you up. Like that is absolutely something that you have to keep in mind in some levels.
So this is a new route that I came up with actually like a month or two ago. And this is where like I saved a lot of time over the previous former IRL world record. So I'm going to be firing a laser. There are some crystals you're intended to hit, but we're not doing that because it's slow. So this actually goes back to Amber's question about like how do you find visual cues or setups or something like that. So to get a proper laser angle here pretty consistently, you walk against this icicle. Like you can see, I'm going to visibly walk against it for like a split second, and then activate laser. And then what I'm going to do, so the in-game timer is frozen while you aim laser, so I can kind of take all the time I need. But I'm going to aim laser into that ceiling, and then like kind of very, very lightly tap down until we don't hit the ceiling. So, like that, right there. So you kind of want to be as close to that little corner as possible, but not actually hit the corner or ricochet off of it. And then once you fire this angle, you can see why that the angle is tight, because if we are a tiny bit low, you will hit that crystal with the spring. But we didn't, so we skip all of that.
That's tough.
It would be tough, but it's surprisingly nice with that setup. So I get it like most of the time, so it's actually really... Without it, I used to not have a setup, and I was like, oh my god, this is awful. But thankfully with the setup, it's pretty consistent. Alright, so this is the auto-scroller skip. And this is a little bit different as well. I learned this from Yutong's old videos, the Japanese runner. What I did before with this auto-scroller skip was I kind of just bopped through these enemies. I hit these hoops coming up, and I kind of just did some repeated jumps. And I used a laser a little bit too early to try to zap my way through. But what we're going to do instead is we have spin dash mode active, and we want to keep this active as long as possible. Until the point I activate laser, I am in spin dash mode, meaning I'm going just really fast. So skip those hoops, keep spin dash mode, jump, bop, bop, laser, and made it through. There's a few jumps there that are really difficult to make. I'll show that off one more time with a quick little pause. So when you want to hitting the hoops here is really important for consistency, because that kind of just guarantees you'll land on a platform before the autoscroller. But since we're skipping that to keep spin dash mode, we need to do a jump blindly and jump off of that, because you have very little space. And you have to do this kind of blindly because you're not reacting to this because you're going so fast. So you have to jump. We need to jump on the bare left tip of this platform, because if you're too far right, you're actually going to hit that robot. And that just kills your spin dash. Because you're just going so fast that your jump is going to be so horizontal. And as Brandino said, those robots are actually really big and tanky. So like you have to barely land on the bare edge of that and do a full jump off of it. And pull back a little bit to make sure you pop an extra dragonfly, and then you laser to the end. And that saves 0.3 seconds. So you can see why I don't go for it in full game runs.
It's so many things in this game are like really difficult strats that save, like 0.3 seconds.
Okay. I'll go over Frozen Factory Extra. And we mentioned this before, but this is a stage that's gone through so many changes. And just like the past 2 weeks along, ever since Yutong came back. So like they learned that when you hit it, this is a stage where you spam asteroid a lot. And we want to be hitting specific boost pads to go really fast. So we're going to spin after this asteroid, activate it before this boost pad, and you're going to see me jump after almost every boost pad. And that's because boost pads are really fast. And when you jump before they run out of speed, you'll keep that speed for longer until you start descending. So hop, descend, and do it again right there just to keep that speed going. So this right here is probably the hardest part of the stage. We need to kind of weave left and right into this boost pad, but since we have so much speed stored up, it's really easy to overshoot left to the left and kind of go too far ahead of the boost pad on the ground you see here. We hit that again, jump, descend, and And the boost pad we just hit is faster than the ones in the center, by the way. So if you see, well, to the right side on the screen. So you see that trio of boost pads near the asteroid castle? Those are slow. Don't hit those. Just hit the ones that I hit instead. These boost pads also don't give you that much speed, but they're faster than not hitting them anyways. And we're gonna do one last hop here after this boost pad, and we need to descend, count for 5 audio beats, and then hit that spring. That's an example of an auto key I use. So like after this hop, I like slide off and I count 5 beats to the asteroid music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I jump into that. So I use like audio cues like that all over the place too for reliability. This part has some changes too that Yutong found that ended up being faster. It's like half second faster, I think, and I incorporated it into the run you just did. You want to hit that boost pad. You want to swerve left, hit this boost pad coming up, and avoid that electricity because that's really bad if you hit that. And then what I used to do is go straight here, but Yutong found out you can do a little bit of a midair jump here and hit that boost pad there, and then do a jump to keep that boost pad speed, and that saves like a half second over what I used to do. So one interesting thing is that Brandino mentioned like analog pad and D-pad for movement, and you can kind of see how my movement is so jagged here, and that's because I'm actually using a D-pad for this entire section. Whereas for the first 2 sections, I used the analog pad. In a lot of cases, there's personal preference. In this scenario, right here coming up, you want to be going as straight as possible, which is why I use a D-pad. And you can see why, you just want to keep going straight. And this is a really scary part coming up here because, and I don't go for this in runs, but I'm going to slide off here and land on the capsule. And that looks easy. It's not. In the run I just did, I hit the spring instead. Why is this not easy? Well, if you overshoot that, you're dead. Because there's no, like, if you overshoot that, you're just going to fall to your death because there's no invisible wall to bail you out.
Yeah, there's nothing to catch you there.
Yeah,
and as we found out earlier, the IGT does not reset to last checkpoint when you die. So it does, mistakes do compound. So Brandino, we're about halfway through this showcase. Are you taking notes to maybe come back and improve
yes.
or maybe take some of Kirby's world records?
I don't think taking is on the table, but just to add these into my own runs. So get some of these myself would be nice. I mean, I care a lot about my ILs in this game. Like ILing is just primarily the way that I was able to get a lot of information out about this game to the world, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to get at least new updated ILs, and then RTA will come with time because I quite frankly, this is a hard game to run RTA. It's a hard game. You gotta be really on your stuff to run RTA.
And like, I really want to give Brandino a lot more credit because like, if you look at the boards now, like my time's like 5 minutes faster than his, and it sounds like that's a really big skill gap. And like, technically, sure, that is the case. But like, before like I got into this game, like Brandino's run, while it's really outdated, it's a really good run for its time.
Yeah.
Like if you saw the run, you just saw the run. I lost like 30-40 seconds, like 5 different splits. Brandino's run had like no mistakes like that at all anywhere. Yeah,
with the currently known strats at that time, for sure.
Yeah, like, it's a really good run. Like, the biggest time loss he had was losing, like, 10 seconds to one boss.
Yeah, like, I'm teasing when I say, like, are you taking notes for this? Because
I know.
Very, very different, like, eras. And I just want to, like, emphasize, like, you know, Kirby, you came in once Brandino had done a lot of legwork to get the game kind of like established as an active runner, but like you also came in to do a lot of documentation, reaching out to new, not new runners, but older runners who like had times on Sonic Center and other like known like good times and be like, how did you do this?
All right. But yeah, like seriously, shout out to Brandino for like laying out a lot of that groundwork because like his run, I think it was like 3 years old now. It was like what I learned off of at the time. So like, and everyone's got to start somewhere, and his run is really good for what it was.
Yeah,
like
I think,
and he was very proud of that too. So he should be proud of it.
It's a weird experience to have been around for so long that like runs I do are like outdated enough that there's like a lot of updates to make and stuff. Cause I started speedrunning is 2020-ish era. So it's like, I feel like I'm relatively new compared to a lot of the speedrunners I know. Cause I know so many people that have been doing this for like, 2014, 2012, 2007. I don't know. But like, for me, it's something that I started doing later in life. So it's like to now be around for multiple eras of this game it's strange. It's a little bit weird for me. It's like a thing to get used to.
Oh, for sure.
I forgot to mention that this is Silent Forest 1.
Yes.
I think the stage is. I think there's like 2 minor things I'll go over, but the very start is the really interesting thing. So like in the full game run, you go left, you homing attack a switch, and then you homing attack the flower to teleport out because we want to like try to get into the flower that unlocks. What I'm going to do here is do a spin dash, keep that spin dash during this cutscene, and then hit that during that cutscene off screen. That saves 1 second. Is it awful? Yes. It's awful.
You're basically blind moving.
Yeah.
Without any like unless you like learn the muscle memory or figure out the proper cues for it.
Yeah, like the idea, what I do is like before the camera switches, like I try to make sure I'm going at a decent angle before the switch, and then don't touch any direction.
Yeah.
Because like when even the camera changes, you're always going to go in the same direction as long as you don't tap anything really. Also, God jump. Yeet. And one minor thing, I want a homing attack really low here because if you homing attack too high, you'll bop up the switch and have like an animation where Sonic kind of hops up. But if you hit homing attack the edge of a switch like this, he kind of clips into it, and you can just spin dash immediately into that. So I can show that off really quickly. There's not many practical applications for that really. Flip that and go straight into the teleport. And this also is a really awful part of the stage. So like we mentioned before, like if you bounce attack after those hoops, you just go way faster and have more control over yourself while skydiving. So I'm going to do that here.
Arguably a little too much control because Sonic zips around in the air. So something that like we might have mentioned, I don't know, we talked a lot about the game today, but I don't know if it got specifically mentioned that...
That's random, by the way.
When holding R in the air, you are like a slippery noodle with the way that you move around. He moves around in the air like so fast when you're holding R.
He just goes so much faster when holding R in the air, yeah. Like, it becomes a habit, but yeah.
That's a noticeable area for it because we're falling for so long. You can really see it, like holding R in the air, he's zipping around. That's part of why, and again, I don't know if we said this already, it's hard to remember, we've talked a lot about the game, but we're holding R for so much of the run. Because for me personally, I hold R nearly for like the entire game, basically, because I just don't want to miss out on any potential speed gains in the air if I can avoid it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there are situations where holding R doesn't actually help, but like you're generally better safe than sorry holding it as much as possible, really.
Because it's like you would, yeah, especially if you're going to be jumping or be airborne at all, it will absolutely increase your airspeed.
All right, Silent Forest 3. So this stage is very different.
Oh, the decathlon.
It's such a different stage. The first part's the same, though. The first part is so heavily bottlenecked by cycles that it's going to be pretty much the same as what you just saw me do. All that really matters is making the standard piston cycles. But Section 2 is very different. You're going to see a lot more YOLO movements. Laser here. Laser a little bit early, but it doesn't really matter because, again, piston cycles. This is one of the coolest stages of speedrun again. It's like one of my favorites, but it's also so difficult. And then we need to slowly walk off of this to grab a laser. Laser! And you can laser that earlier, but if you do, your laser's actually going to run out in the middle, and you might just die, so you don't want to do that. That is one of the biggest annoyances with this game, is that it's probably got the worst laser in the series, honestly. As fun as it is.
Yes, laser is the only laser where when you hit a crystal, you can actually end up losing laser earlier than you meant to because it's timed on when the laser was actually activated and not like just generic based on the crystal, which is something that goes for most other lasers in like other Sonic games.
Okay, so this is the thing that I messed up in the run I just did. So you want to make sure that you do like a perfectly timed double jump and perfectly land on this rail without any extra airtime.
And you hold left as soon as possible because you want to immediately shift direction and go up because this rail actually is going from behind the direction that you were trying to go to. Mm-hmm. That one, I just want to say, I found that strat because I was looking at maps of the game on Sonic Retro, and I realized we were usually going, there's this big downward slope, and then a spring, you wall run up, and then you take the rail, and I was like, wait, you just can jump over into the rail, just go up. Just get this entire downward section.
You haven't told me this one. Oh, didn't know that.
No, that was back when I was still learning the game, and Timtanium was the world record holder of any percent, so we're talking 2021.
Dang.
I was trying to find new strats for everything, and I was looking at level maps, and yeah, I found that from just like looking over a level map and realizing, oh, you could probably just make this jump.
Okay.
I'll have to see if I can find Tim's reaction, because he was like, why didn't I ever think of that?
That just happens all the time. Like, why didn't I ever think of this? Yeah, exactly.
That Kirby's definitely shown so many why didn't I think of that to me, for sure. So here, this is really cool. So this is the cycle that he was never going to make RTA.
Yeah, like that is such a tight cycle to make. Like if you commit to the top route you just did, you lose 9 seconds. It's awful to go commit and miss that cycle. So I'm gonna show this all off again, but that's why it's so important to because I have to have clean movement up to this point, even whether you're taking top route or bottom route, to make these green blocks here, because that's really tight. And you need to pretty much play almost perfectly here. Even if I homing attack that electric shield, you're not making a piston cycle at the end. You have to not homing attack that. That's just slow. You have to not click any ledges here, not touch any enemies. And it's just so tight to make the cycle, and you're just never gonna get in a full game run because it's so tight. I do an extra jump here to keep that rail speed going, and now made it. So like the top route, I took the bottom route in the run I just did earlier, and pretty much the main trade-off is that the bottom route is a lot faster in this section than the route this route you're seeing here, the top route. But the bottom route loses time in section 3, whereas the top route is a lot faster in section 3. But section 3 is bottlenecked by another cycle, so unless you make this top route really quickly, the bottom route's always going to be faster. But in this scenario, the top route is faster because I'm doing ridiculous IO strats. We need to pick up that laser there. And again, we are bottlenecked by green block cycle here, especially because we did the top route, so...
All right, this is the section that feels like it just doesn't end.
I know.
Exactly, because you go to a loop, you go down, you go to a loop, you go down, you jump over some blocks, avoid the owl, you go to a loop, you go down, you jump over some blocks, you avoid the owl, you go up, you avoid the owl, you go down, you go into a loop. That's this entire section. It's over and over again. Loops, the owl, wall running, loops, the owl.
But it's so fast.
It's so cool, yeah, but like right here is where I'm starting to be like, okay, this level should end soon.
That's a cycle, by the way. So.
This is a really cool little strat here, this spin hop. As long as you're at the left edge of this moving platform, you can make that.
I hesitate here.
Immediately.
Right there, by the way. So that's like a bit of a time loss I took there, unfortunately. I was so nervous. Like, you have no idea how hard it is to make that cycle.
When you're on ILPB pace at the very end of this stage, and you're just trying to lock in, because you can easily mess up all of these platforms just with like one quick bad jump or something. I know exactly what Kirby's talking about.
Like right there, I just hesitated for like a split second because I was just so nervous.
If you could go back for 1 second, I want to talk about that one strat. So I'll wait for it. It's this wall run. It's this wall run, wall jump right here.
There?
Pause. Yeah, so what Kirby's doing here is that the fastest possible movement here is to run on this wall right before you hit so there's like a dead zone in the corner of walls where Sonic will just fall because he's run all the way up the wall. So you're basically jumping right before you hit the dead zone so that you can make this perfectly straight line from the bottom of the wall to the top of the next platform, when normally the game wants you to be like double jumping or like probably bounce braceleting up. This is just such a tight little jump, and it's at the very, very end of this level. I don't think about it as much anymore, but this is a ridiculous jump.
Yeah, like I'm like nowadays I'm like 70-80% consistent at it, but it took me a while to get down. Like I would bonk my head on the ceiling when learning this game all the time, or just not even grab this legend.
I was also definitely pointing at my screen and realizing that nobody could see where I was pointing.
Oh yeah, one fun fact here. One fun little fact here I want to mention. What happens if you hold right this entire time and you fire your laser? You're gonna aim your laser left because gravity flips, but you're still facing left because you were facing right when you go through the hoops, and then gravity flips, you're facing left. You aim laser left. So as you go through that last loop, you actually want to hold left just before you enter the hoop. Very not intuitive, but yeah. So I'm gonna hold left right there so I can actually aim lasers to the right. Mario Galaxy shenanigans, I guess. All right, so I'm just gonna let this play out. This is Silent Forest boss Critical Sid. I mean Zor. I'm gonna let it play out, and then we'll do like a giant deep dive into this boss. There's so much fun stuff to explain with this boss.
I suppose we're gonna have to.
So as a reminder, The gimmick is you enter a cannon, there are 20 fake owl, or 20 locations, and you need to find the correct owl. And this is random. Remember, this is an individual level speedrun. So, what are you gonna do? YOLO!
Yeah, so when you're ILing, you mash A, and he's either first or you reset. And then do that for an hour and a half, and now you'll understand what it's like to be me and Kirby.
Alright, I'm gonna let this play out a little bit more, just pay attention to audio. Carefully.
Only the Reaper wins in the end.
Huh. I hear Sonic jumping around a bit, don't you? We'll get into what happened there. Oh, he's on the capsule! Cool, I saved time. Alright. So, let's step through that fight really quick. Well, not really quick, but for a bit, because, man, this fight has so much going on, actually. So, like, it sounds like all you do is YOLO and spin dash, and there's some truth to that, but... Basically, okay, so imagine this map, this arena is like a circular map, and the first location you aim at is north, 12 o'clock position. Keep that in mind. So, keep that in mind after we actually knock him down. So, you can kind of see that before the reticle shows up, you have a little bit of control over the gyro there for a split second. So I'll just jump back a bit so you can kind of see again. Right here, you actually have control over yourself for a split second before the reticle shows up. So what that means is, right here, I'm checking if that owl I see is the correct one. And if it's not, then during the split second where I can't fire myself, I plan on aiming up and right to YOLO. Well, okay, the one you see on the right there. So if the owl you looked at initially is not the real one, then you YOLO the one to the right. So this isn't a 1 in 20 chance boss, it's a 2 in 20 chance, if you take that into account, because you don't really lose time aiming for the right one. So it's a 1 in 10 chance to get the correct one, basically.
Also, let me re-emphasize, this boss fight is gyro.
Yeah, that's gyro.
That section where you are aiming Sonic in the cannon is entirely gyro.
Now, one interesting thing is if you look at the arena now, so when you finish the boss, the game will always teleport you north of the capsule. So when you kill him, you want to be facing south without moving. That's very important. And it's pretty easy in this case because you just YOLO this and you're always going to be north. But like, that's what I was trying to map out in my head during the actual run, because when you do a full game run, his location is random. So you have to like digest where you're hitting him, where on the clock you're hitting him, and always make sure you're facing south. So like, for example, if I'm knocking him on like the spot below the 17, then I want to make sure I'm like facing along the line on the ground southward. And you kind of have to just mentally map that out in your head because you want to be making sure you're aiming at the capsule after you finish it. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm aiming south because that's where the center of the arena is, because he's always north. And now I'm going to bounce him on the last hit, boing. And now there is a random chance you have control of Sonic during this cutscene. I don't know what causes it. It happens uncommonly. How did I find it? I found it on an accident.
Yeah, this is a good, like, it also happens with flower cutscenes in Silent Forest 1, and I think some other random places. This is one of those things that's like, yeah, we never would have thought about this because you just like, oh, who would have thought that you had control of Sonic during this random cutscene?
Yeah.
And Kirby has a very complicated formula to understand where the capsule is spawning in relation to Sonic, so he's also trying to think about, like, the trajectory of everything, and also can barely see Sonic and is moving him. It's quite wild.
I wrote a literal entire guide on this boss on SR, so you can see it for yourself with all the clock diagrams. But yeah,
the only more in-depth boss guide I think was by Azrael Kirby, and she had written a boss guide for Egg Dealer from Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh God!
And it comes with like textbook style diagrams of where you want to be standing in relation to Egg Dealer and stuff like that. And that reminded me of Kirby's approach to this boss.
Right. I want to explain one thing during this, because like we do have control of Sonic for whatever reason, and if you listen to, I'm going to play the video soon, but listen to the audio carefully. So what I'm going to be doing is, without pressing any direction, I'm going to spin hop Sonic off screen towards the capsule, and then bounce attack to stop him right in front of the capsule. So like, you're gonna hear Sonic do some bounces. That's what I'm doing.
Only the Reaper wins in the end.
And now I'm going to be right in front of the capsule, and there. Just like that. And that saves like a half second. So, yes, I redid this fight for a 1 in 10 chance over and over again until I got the glitch. Because I am an idiot. Oh, but yeah. So that was bopping Critical Sid really quickly. Let's go through Sky Road 1. So this stage... Yeah. Stage sucks. You'll see how the stage looks pretty cleanly, but this can still be really improved, though. Like, there's a lot of stuff I take safely just because like the stage is so ridiculously difficult and so pseudo-random that there's just so much that can go wrong. Like, there are other runs that exist that, like, yeah, you can avoid, like, spinning around those scrap brain wheels. I'll show it again. But I take the safe because I intentionally wait for, like, an entire cycle around those scrap brain wheels. Like, I'm wait here intentionally just to have control of myself. But you can just skip that and save a lot of time. But I don't do that because the stage sucks. So I'm going to do a bit of a complicated maneuver here, and this is why I don't go for YOLO strats, because this strat here saves quite a bit of time, but it's really difficult. So I'm going to mid-air jump into this laser capsule through 2 crystals. Boing, boing. Like that. And that is not something you should go for in a full game run. But that is a pretty big time save, because we got a laser wisp without using it. And
This whole level is things you should not be doing in a full game run.
yeah, exactly. So, like, what he did in the first pinball table here is normally, if you want a laser wisp, you have to finish a row to unlock a path to the right and pick up a laser. But that's slow. We do it in a full game run because that's consistent, but in an IL setting, we got this extra laser. So I'm skipping that because of this extra laser. That, yeah, by the way, yes, there is a mantis that tries to shoot you. You see those green blades? I've gotten bought by those so many times.
Yep.
That guy deserves a raise, by the way.
His aim is impeccable, truly.
It's truly impeccable. So I have another visual cue here, interestingly. So I aim this laser like right above that spring, basically. And then I aim the laser behind the dragonfly, and that's important because that makes his laser run out at the perfect time so I can mid-air jump into that enemy to get some extra height. And then pick up another laser here. I play this a little safe because this, even though this is an IL, this IL sucks to grind out.
Again, this is a slightly different route than what we used to do. Kirby came up with this.
Actually, saw a minor mistake there. I didn't mean to rev a spin dash there, but I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take minor time losses. Like, you can tell my standards for this stage are way lower than all the other stages. Because
it's just getting out of this stage with an appropriate amount of time save is enough. And there's still the whole last section with the shoes to worry about. That's really the bigger save that's gonna matter more in the IL.
You got that out? Right.
Yeah, running ILs is tough work. You really got to be very focused in on every major minor time loss you could have.
So I don't think this is frame perfect, but like basically we need to be aiming this horizontal laser as high as possible. Because when you fire this, you're gonna grab a laser and then kind of yeet your way through that.
I was gonna say that you actually aimed slightly lower in your run today, so I would say there's probably variance up to like 3 frames or something.
And then we go through that. Point out one time save you can go for if you're ridiculous. So what you can do to save a bit of time over this run here is, what you can do is you can touch that boost pad, and if you jump, the frame you touch the boost pad, you will yeet yourself perfectly into the laser. I don't do that because the stage sucks. And it doesn't save much time. But you can do it if you want to, and try to beat this time.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, have fun.
I have like a 205. I have like a 205 here that I was very happy with, and then Kirby sub-2'd, and now it's like, oh boy, back to the drawing board for me.
This stage is so brutal. It's a really satisfying stage to like watch yourself do, I guess. Like it looks really slick when you do it, go through it, but it is. All right, so this is Sky Road 3.
So we're spending a lot of time riding on the rockets here, and the big info is always about how to keep the rockets as long as possible. And of course, Kirby's also worried about burst routing.
Yeah, so since I'm not actually playing the game now and I can just actually pause this footage, I'm going to pick up a burst wisp here before section 2, but that spike ball to Sonic's left.
The thing looks like a jerk. That trajectory.
Like, okay, let me show you the path again. Like, you can kind of see it jutting out a bit more than all the others. Like, look at it compared to its three brothers. Like, look at it. It's so rude. Ugh, I mean, I'm pretty consistent at avoiding it now, but God, I had so much trouble getting that burst wisp when I was starting out. So, like, this is a reminder that none of us started this good at the game. All of this just takes time, and if you mess something up, chances are runners have messed it up more than you have. But man, then I probably bopped the spike ball so many times. So many times. But yeah, I think was a little bit inspired by Brandino's Supersonic Isle of this, because like I looked at it, I'm like, wait a second, you can do the same thing as Supersonic with the burst wisp by going on top.
We mentioned him slightly, but again, Supersonic is such a strange way to play this game because of how fast he is. He does a lot of things that Sonic just isn't capable of doing, or can do stuff that you would never dream about Sonic doing at all. And it's really, really cool. One of those which was spin dashing on top of this level, because Supersonic has very little issue making it on top, but Sonic himself struggles. But yeah, Supersonic is a really cool way to play this game.
I haven't actually played a Supersonic yet because I haven't got to the Emeralds, and there's a reason for that. But yeah, this Fire Shield sucks, by the way. You can be perfectly centered vertically on it, and you won't get it. You have to be a lot lower than it looks to grab it. It's weird. It's not a huge deal to miss it, but it looks sloppy if I don't get it in aisles. I reset over it. But realistically speaking, you don't really lose time if you fail, because there's another one later. It's kind of on the way. So this is another rocket section, and yeah, we are going to jump off this rocket, but the next rocket we get is the one that we want to keep for almost the entire section here, because it just goes so fast and so far. There's one cool little trick that I did do in my full game run, and I'll show it off here. So it goes back to more visual cues. So you're supposed to kill all these enemies, and well, not all. You're supposed to kill the pufferfish to unlock another rocket, and that's what you can do. You can yeet this rocket at the pufferfish and grab the next rocket. That's still pretty fast. Or you can just skip it. So I'm going to navigate between this pufferfish, which is going to move towards me. And my visual cue is between that mantis and that row of rings you see. So you can kind of see a row of rings between the fish and the mantis. I'm going to try to go in between the rings and the mantis. Like that. And then you can turn really far right sharply. Like that. And fun fact, you cannot crash into that capsule. Like, I don't know why, but if you go really far right, you'll just go through it, and you're not going to crash. So I am very glad for that. Sonic games are weird. But, yeah. Now we just kind of navigate this. We have the fire shield, but you don't actually need it for the fire here. We want it later, but you actually still get knocked out by that, even with the fire shield, though, from the dragon. So you do need to actually dodge those. This is an aisle I may consider redoing, though, because, like, something I haven't looked into yet is whether it's faster to stay on the right edge here the entire time. Whereas in this aisle, I'm gonna go off like that immediately to avoid the Thunder Shield. But I learned that like if you get the Thunder Shield while having a Fire Shield, your Fire Shield will go into the second screen, and you can just pull it out again. So that might save a bit of time, honestly. I haven't tested that yet. So if that does end up being notably faster, I will probably redo this. This aisle's like not that difficult. It's just a very long one. What is difficult is getting a really clean burst here, because like I think when I was doing this run live, and I think I literally heard Amber being like, "Oh my god, how did you survive that and not die?" And I'm like, yeah. So yeah,
I am the person who makes speedrunner noises even when I am not the runner.
Yeah, like, and we YOLO'd this harder in the IL, so I just watched this carefully and landed. Like,
yeah, it's really, really sick. Burst is maybe not the strongest wisp in the game, but it still has its moments.
I would say, like, I like Burst unless it's Silent Force Extra. Silent Force Extra can...
Silent Force Extra can be deleted from the game, and I would actually... my life quality would improve.
Whereas, like, I feel the opposite with Lightning Wisp. I really don't like Lightning Wisp in any of its stages, unless it's its own extra stage, which I do like Lightning Wisp in its Tropical Coast Extra. But Lightning Wisp is my least favorite, personally. And
here's that 329.
That is such a good time. Yeah.
Ugh, oh my god. You get like a 340 something, I think, in Wispless. So Burst Wisp alone saves like 10 seconds. It's pretty nuts.
All right. Here is Sky Road boss, Zavok. All right. So there is a lot that goes on in this fight. But this strat's gonna be completely different because we're just gonna YOLO it. So he can spawn in one of 4 locations: top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. And for this IL strat to work, he has to spawn from bottom left or bottom right. But also, if you try to react to it, you're gonna be too slow. You have to commit to one side beforehand. So right off the bat, you have a 1 in 4 chance. 3 out of 4 runs will just die. So you wait for the arrow. Arrow's on the left side. I line myself up with the arrow, and then I'm going to aim my laser and don't blink. Dead. Watch it again. Aim the laser all the way down, release it, dead. Now, it's not over yet, though, because during this exit cutscene, as I mentioned before, you have indirect control of Sonic. So I'm holding down right R is to go fast button, simultaneously. So I have a setup to land on that capsule. And we got a 25-16. I'm going to play that again because, like, you see how simple this boss is. Like, if you get the strat, you just got, like, the fastest time possible. Because there's, like, nothing else that can really go better or worse than this. So, like, if you get the strat, then everything in this IL comes down to your capsule. So the previous IL world record was a 25.20. And I got this time really quickly. I got really lucky. I was talking to Brandina. I was like, holy shit. Oh my god, I got this time like 3rd try. And I spent like 2 more hours on this and I couldn't get anything better than a 25-20-16. It's like
this IL was an enigma for so long in terms of like the absolute fastest, because even at the like what we thought was the fastest, it did not make sense how there were still seconds to save.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took forever. This one really took forever, and like to get there.
All the time save was just the capsule landing. Like before this was found, like the fastest times we knew of,
we could eliminate Zavik in seconds, but actually landing on the capsule was really hard.
Yeah, like Super Rooster had like a 27, I think, and I had like a high 26. You had like I don't remember if you've IL'd this. It might have been.
I've IL'd this. I have a time that's on the boards.
Okay, I think Wereberry.
I think I have a
27.
I think I have a 31. Hang on.
But yeah, like the idea, but like all that time save was just the capsule landing, and that's because like you save so much time from a good capsule landing because like. When you're skydiving with Sonic, you can go down, and I'm assuming at the time none of us did that.
I have a 31-200, and I can guarantee you that gets as fast of a Zavik as I can possibly have, and then probably chokes the capsule landing.
Yeah, because before we didn't even know you could have a set up for the capsule landing. We just YOLO'd it because we just assumed it was random, but it's not. You can like get a setup for it and like get a really fast landing. So when I played this fight out on an emulator, I could not get my fastest time was 25.2. So like this might be the fastest possible time ever. Maybe. I don't know, honestly.
We can test it at some point and really know, but like you're hard pressed to make it much faster than this.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like it's like if you listen, like normally when you can homing attack something, you can hear the reticule. I don't even listen for that, because if you hear it and you react to it, you just lost time. So you just have to YOLO this and just pray it was the first possible frame. And spoiler alert, I use an audio cue. Because, like, if you're killing this boss the same way every time, then the audio is always going to be the same. So I think I use, like, a half... I don't hear the audio myself right now, but, like, there's, like, a specific half beat between the music where I release the homing attack. And then I got this time by doing that. Boom. 25-16. And I spent, like, 2 hours on this afterwards, and I got, like, 25.2, 25.2 multiple times. I'm like, nope, we're not getting it any faster than this. If someone wants to try to beat this, they can have it, I guess. Okay. I think we'll go ahead and go through Lava Mountain 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be Lava Mountain 1, and we'll call it a night. So Lava Mountain 1.
Lava Mountain 1, like we said before, is basically just a slightly more annoying Windy Hill boss.
The strat here is different because we don't really have the ability to, like, do that little bonk into him multiple times, thank goodness. But getting these bursts off is really tight, actually, because, like, I'll show it off again. Like,
I want to talk about the right here. Picking up the burst capsule isn't always guaranteed. Sometimes you break the rock, because what's happening there is you spin hop immediately, like, down left of where you start. And then you homing attack a rock, and then homing attack the burst wisp. But Sometimes you just homing attack the rock, you never homing attack the burst wisp, and Zaz comes and rams you out of the way, and it's like, all right, buddy, I didn't want to go fast anyway, I guess.
Yeah, Zaz kind of sucks. Yeah, this was... Oh, whoops. This was the fastest time I got out of Zaz, I think. And, like, the burst blow-ups are really tight to do, because you have a pretty tight window, and again, you have to be near him, too, and he has iframes. Also, how long he spins around here for is random, so you can just lose, like, 3 seconds randomly, so I had to kind of grind this until he gave me, like, a good pattern. Brandino said he was able to actually kill him before he did that spin attack.
Yes,
none of us know
it
how.
happened. It happened we have a couple of these. It happened one time. I've never been able to do it ever again. Nobody else has ever had recorded footage of it, but I swear on my life that one time he just skipped straight past the rolling phase.
I believe it. Sonic games are janky.
We have a few, like, 1 in a million things that people have talked about. Like, another good example is in Desert Ruins 2. Desert Ruins 2. Somebody supposedly had a variation of the stage where the platforms fell twice as fast. Nobody's ever been able to do that again, but they swear it, and I believe them. Because there is a couple of these just, like, once in a million things going on.
Right. Straightforward fight, though. I mean, it's not straightforward. You pretty much have to grind for really good luck on Zaz, and then just get a really good Zomom fight. And getting a clean Zomom is actually really difficult, too. I do play this, like, a little safe. So, like, the fastest thing to do, actually, for Zomom is to not homing attack the Asteroid Wisp. Same thing for the Burst Wisp. You don't want to homing attack those, technically, but there's so much luck and difficulty involved that I just fight the time loss and go for reliability. Like, this is one of those cases where, like, the IO is already so difficult, I'm not going to add on even more ridiculously hard stuff, especially when there's luck involved. Alright. Lava Mountain 2. So this is, speaking of luck, this is probably going to be the most sloppiest IL video you're going to see. But also, there's a good reason for that. So we need to zap Xena 3 times. And as you saw this in the run, but after you zap her twice, she will almost always blow you away, and you have to get the lightning wisp again. But occasionally, she will not blow you away. So right there, normally she would blow you away, and you have to get the lightning wisp. But she didn't. I don't know why, and it's a pretty low chance of that. And she can blow you away like 1 second later. Sometimes she'll take like 5 seconds to do it. But if you hit her a 3rd time, then you just skip it, and that saves 20 seconds. So, like, I'm pretty sure I've only gotten to skip, like, a total of 5 times ever. I've never gotten in a full game run. I've only ever gotten it, like, 5 or less times, ever. So, as far as I know, it's just luck, probably. And then we had to play Spin the Wheel twice with our best boy, Sword, not Critical Sid. So, as a reminder, there are 20 possible locations, and we need to get the Quake Wisp first, and then find the real owl. And optimally, you go for the same 2 in 20 chance twice in a row, ideally. No, you're just not. No human should ever put themselves through that, especially after Xena. I would consider doing that if this fight was standalone. I would do it if this fight was standalone. It's not a standalone fight though. We have to do this on top of Xena, which is awful to do in an IL context. So I just wing it and just pray, and I get lucky. And I think this
wing
is
it
like
and pray
pretty good. Third try.
Pray is a
third try is very
valid
good.
thing to do.
Third try is very good.
Yeah, the fact that there's 2 random bosses strung together in one IL, it just makes for a nightmare of a time.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 then 7. So we got really good and average luck, and like we'll take it. Also, if you're wondering how to tell the real owl apart, generally speaking, at least for me, I look at the chest.
Yes,
the chest is very clean.
I was gonna say, one thing I look for, the chest is clean and round and shiny in a way that none of the fakes are.
Mm-hmm. And the eyes are like also very clean as well, but I think it's more reliable to use the chest, personally. But that is a really interesting skill. Like, the boss is a complete luck crapshoot, but like, there is like a really interesting skill to be learned in like learning how to find the right owl quickly. And if you get really good at that, then in a full game run, then you're generally not going to lose much time to bad luck on Zora, if you're really good at it. So it's not too big of a deal if you get good at it. But yeah, all right. this will be the last aisle I'll show off, and this is Lava Mountain 3. And, oh boy, this is what I was trying to do.
Somehow they made an even more complex fight for Zik here than the last one.
Yeah, so I'll let the Zik fight play out first, and then I'll do like a deep dive into this fight, because there's so much going on with this fight alone right here. So yeah, deflect the fruit, then we're gonna hit him twice, stun him, spin dash into him a few times, then just try to kill him right here. Okay, cool. So that's Zik done in about 30 seconds. Let's step through that. So Zik, in the refight, can throw one of 4 fruit: watermelon, peach, pear, or apple. Watermelon and peach are the same speed as far as I know. Pear is awful, apple is awful. If you get pear or apple, reset. So 50% chance for the run to die right here. He has to give you a peach or a watermelon.
He always gives you an apple, I swear. Because every time I try to IL this stage, I get like 6 apples in a row. And it's like, oh, I just start over. I don't want this.
Just haven't had enough apples after the apple stage.
This game really wants me to avoid doctors.
Okay, so now the key thing in this fight, which I mentioned before, is we want to, if he's going between attack animations and he is at half health, he will respawn all his fruit and go through a long animation. In other words, we want to get him as close to half dead as possible, but not actually half health. And then once he like starts spinning around, we want to just finish him off as fast as possible. Zik takes 12 hits to bop, so we want to do 5 hits, and then it's 5 into 7, or some variation of that. So what I'm going to do here is hit him twice, stun him, hit him 3 more times, and then I stop. So I intentionally stop, because if I hit him any more times, that's going to trigger, bring him to half health, and that's going to trigger his fruit respawn. So I'm waiting for him to get unstunned, and then I wail on him as much as possible. So, and right there, there's more luck involved, by the way. So what he can do right here is random. He can either charge at you immediately in a counterclockwise fashion, or he can turn around slowly and go clockwise. You want the latter. The latter is much faster and easier too. You can still one-cycle him if he goes counterclockwise. It is time loss, so obviously that's a reset in an IO context. But if you go for the strat in the full game run and he goes counterclockwise, I have a setup to try to get the last 2 hits pretty reliably. But in an IL context, he has to turn in place and go in the opposite direction. So this is another 50-50 we have to roll. So on top of a difficult strat, we have to roll 2 coin flips right there. So after we finish it off Zik, we have to fight another boss in a row after all of that difficult stuff. We have to fight Zavok in Lava Mountain. And, this, I'm just gonna let this play out first, because it is so sick how it looks. And then we'll do a quick deep dive. And dead. That's the Sky Road version was not that difficult to do. This one's so much harder. So okay, how Zavok works in the refight is, in the first fight, 3 laser hits is enough to kill him. In the refight, 4 laser hits is not enough to kill him. So, but we need 4 laser hits and a fully charged homing attack to finish him off. So what we need to do is stun him, then laser so close to him that you're literally in his body. So and then you hit him 4 times with laser, because laser doesn't really last long enough to hit 4 hits reliably. You have to pretty much be in his body. But that's easier said than done, because you get hurt if you touch him. So on top of that, he can spawn from 1 of 4 locations. So if he spawns, we want him to spawn from the lower left to lower right again, because we need him to be almost at the exit. And it takes about 1 extra second if he spawns from top left, top right, versus bottom left, bottom right. So you can still get the quick kill if he gives you the bad pattern, but it is time loss. So if you want the optimal pattern, we have to roll a 3rd coin flip, basically. So difficult bosses, 2 difficult bosses in a row, 3 coin flips you have to flip. So now I'm going to stun him as close to the edge of the screen as possible. Full charge homing attack. And then when you activate laser near Zavok, you actually damage him for whatever reason. So I'm trying to get as close to him as possible and activate it. And if you listen to the audio carefully, you heard him yell That's him getting hurt. And then dead. So, play that again and listen to the audio carefully when I trigger a laser. And that's basically an extra laser hit on top of three laser hits, so that's 4 laser hits, and he's dead. But I'm still doing I still have to get a fast capsule landing. Similar to Skyroad, a little bit different because this capsule is in the center instead of farther right. But same idea, you want to hold down right and turn it on at the right time to get a fast capsule homing attack. And that is a 124 on this boss fight. And this is probably the hardest boss fight to execute, at least, out of all these ILs. Yeah. And I hope that was really interesting. This is part of a passion project. That's the last one I will have to show off. There's still a lot of work for me to do that I'm interested in continuing to work on. Mostly really hard stuff.
Yeah, it's all the really hard stuff from here.
I wonder why I procrastinated on all the hard stuff, but yeah, I hope this deep dive has been interesting though. Like, this is something I kind of really wanted to do because I like talking about this. Like, there was this random Sonic Advance 2 stream I just did where eventually I just devolved into me talking about all these ILs I've done in Sonic Advance 1, 2, 3, and it's like, after all the work that we put into Lost World 3DS, it's really cool to see how far this has come in all the IL rankings. And now that we also have video footage of a lot of these now, which is really awesome. I will say... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the game has come such a long way in the last few years. And to go from when I came in, there being one RTA run on the board that's like fully recorded and has like a bunch of interesting strats to where we are now is nothing short of incredible and reflects just the work that we've been putting into the game.
Yeah, Brandino, what do you stream, by the way?
What do I stream? That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I introduced you tonight as Brandino with the Philips CDI, formerly the Nintendo 3DS.
This man is speedrunning at SGDQ. What are you speedrunning at SGDQ?
I will be running The Legend of Zelda Wand of Gamelon at SGDQ on my trusty Philips CDI that I do in fact own and I'm staring at right now. I run a lot of video games. I guess I've always been attracted to games that maybe don't get as much love or a little more obscure. And so that leads me to run a lot of random stuff. Lost World 3DS was definitely part of that. Generations 3DS was part of that. I see in chat somebody mentions Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's a game that is very near and dear to my heart. I could talk about that game for the same length of time that we did this whole stream. I just love speedruns, and I love interacting with games through speedruns, and I will continue to do so because it's changed my life in a lot of positive ways, including getting the run at SGDQ this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like your first official guaranteed run.
Yep.
And you're literally bringing your CDI. I have to bring a second suitcase. The CDI is so big. I am so sorry, but also it's going to be worth it. So yeah, what day is your run on?
It's on Thursday, July 9th, currently at 2:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I thought it was Tuesday. Oh, okay.
No, it is Thursday. Great news. But yeah, I run a lot of stuff. That's how I got that's also how I get to interact with Kirby. We both like to run a lot of games to a deep level, and we both love ILing, and so I feel like we naturally gravitated. Oh, we also love collecting. Kirby and I are both game collectors.
Yeah, look at that.
He always tries to enable my worst impulses by sending me, hey, look, this store near you is having a big sale, or they just got a bunch of boxed Game Boy games in. And you know what? Terrible idea. I will buy that stuff.
I mean, I've gotten separate DMs from both of you fawning over like, yo, look at what I just picked up. And it's just like, it's something I greatly appreciate.
I recently bought a 32X from Focus Sight, who is another runner.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
I'm shocked you did not already have a 32X. I'm not going to lie.
It's a 32X, so it's never been high priority, but also like Focus Sight was selling their stuff. So it's like, you know what?
So
I'll buy it.
Well, now you have an excuse to play Knuckles Chaotix.
Yeah.
On hardware. That's going to be awesome. Let me say too that just like we're talking about the CDI, I'm a big proponent of when possible. I understand that it's not always possible, but like hardware when possible is genuinely how I feel with stuff. Like I would love to run games on official releases on official hardware when possible. I understand that that's an expensive proposition for a lot of people, not necessarily always possible, but it's something I really strive to do. Like part of the reason that I got into Lost World was just because there was no hardware footage with good like capture card,
honestly, no
like,
emulated
like
either, really.
viewable stuff. Yeah, nothing in terms of that. And so, yeah, it's kind of great to be able to contribute high quality footage for a lot of these games that previously just had like none. And especially coming from hardware, that's awesome too, because it's also not easy to get high quality footage from hardware, even if you can get like a regular capture card.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just rambling. I love speedrunning.
Speedrunning is great. I didn't want to add on that, like, that's partially why, like, I did the Sonic Handheld 16 project last year, is like trying to step into all these games to get like underappreciated, especially a lot of the portable games. And that's kind of how I got into Generation 3DS, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Triple Trouble. I had the world record for Sonic Blast with Knuckles and Knuckles. This game as well. And like, I guess, like, I mean, if they're less appreciated, then I could get world record, but it's less that, but more that there's just a lot more to experiment and learn and be part of the meta, if that makes any sense. To be part of pushing the game, because some more obscure games are like often a lot not really as solved, and this game is a big example of that. Like this was the entire point of this passion project. Is like, yeah, getting the world record's great in every IL, but also like trying to figure out how did people replicate the strats? Can I improve them? Like Windy Hill 2, the underground stage, I think I don't have the record in that, Yutong does, but when I played around with it with save states, I was able to save 1 second over that with save states, so it's not a legit run, but that kind of goes to show that there's even more time save that I was able to add on to what Yutong showed me. And hopefully I can put that together for that stage. It's not going to be easy though. But like in terms of the IL showcase that I just did, I don't stream ILs because I don't like. Whenever I do ILs, I'm usually watching other streams, honestly. But I do stream a lot of full game speedruns. The current Sonic project I'm working on is this game and Sonic Rush Adventure. I'm working on all islands. It is a backup run for SGDQ. Probably not going to be in, but who knows? So those are the 2 speed projects I have ongoing. But also, if you want to see more ILs and stuff, I upload a Sonic IL every Monday and Wednesday on my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/@KirbyMasta. I upload Sonic ILs every Monday and Wednesday. If you like reading text descriptions, I go into detail with timestamps on like every little thing that's like not obvious from just watching it. Partially because it's cool to talk about it, but also for documentation purposes. Like something that's not obvious, I'll point it out so that if someone wants to replicate it or if I want to redo it, then I can refer to that. So if you want to see more stuff like this, then check out the YouTube channel and look forward to an IL every Monday, Wednesday. One last thing I'll plug myself for. I mean, I do stream Sonic speedruns. I do stream casual Fire Emblem as well every Friday evening typically. But I will say, 10 hours from now, I am going to be streaming on my own channel a Rhythm Heaven marathon. So I'm going to stream every game, every Rhythm Heaven game to celebrate Rhythm Heaven Groove coming out in 1 week. And this is not many people know that I love this series. It's one of my favorite gaming series of all time. But also, if you search YouTube Rhythm Heaven All Perfects, I can guarantee you like 5 of the top 10 videos are my videos with millions of views. they just happen to hit the algorithm, I guess. I've literally had like a few people like come up to me and be like, "Wait a second, are you the same person who uploaded those Rhythm Heaven videos?" Yeah, I am. So, like, one of my favorite game series of all time. If you love quirky, cute little Rhythm Heaven games, or you want to know what Rhythm Heaven Groove is all about, check out my channel tomorrow, 10 hours from now at 11 o'clock a.m. I'm going to stream all 4 games, including the Japanese-only Game Boy Advance game. It's going to be chill. I'm not going to like do anything like trying to go for all perfects or whatever, although I'm pretty darn good at the game, so they're all mostly going to be perfects anyways. But love the series to death. Definitely check that out tomorrow morning. It's probably going to be like a 7-8 hour stream. But I do want to give one last shout out after all this rambling I just did to Amber for hosting this. And thanks for being open to like this idea of the IO showcase. And we kind of had to like, what's it called? Parse out some details here and there, but I'm pretty happy with how this went. And I'm glad that I was able to really just be another part of Passion Project. And you can kind of see like what I'm kind of working on through 2026 at the moment. So
Yeah,
here's hoping.
it's always great.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's always great to have you on the show. Like when I do get to have you on, and same with Brandino as well. Like I got to get Brandino back in a runner chair after I thought I had you for All Stars Racing DS last time I had you on.
Yeah, that's that was some time ago too. It's always fun because I feel like I get to be here and do a lot of different runs, and just in general, I love Hotfix and the opportunity to show off a lot of random stuff that I'm doing to a wider audience, and I appreciate that I keep coming back for it because I was on the channel for commentary earlier for this week as well, and it's just cool to be a perpetual Hotfix person.
All right. Well, that's all I have to say. Thanks a lot, Brandino, for being on call here. Thanks, Amber, for hosting me. Thanks to the production team for being flexible with all of this. And thanks, everyone, for watching and stuff.
Yes, and what just got posted in chat as we close out, if you do like to watch GDQ, we do want to hear from you. Games Done Quick is looking to learn how you watch speedruns the most. It helps give us feedback on what to book for Hotfix, what direction to take our programming in, all sorts of things. So if you do have a few minutes, visit gdq.gg/survey. Let us know what you want to see. It helps us significantly, helps me immensely, because I really enjoy doing deep dive segments like this, but I know some people might want to see more or less of that, or some people might want to see something entirely different. So that survey will be running through Summer Games Done Quick. So if you are at SGDQ, which will be live in Minneapolis, Minnesota from July 5th through the 11th, the survey will also be running through that. So, or if you haven't registered, you can visit gdq.gg to learn more about the event or register for it, and check out the schedule at gdq.gg/schedule. Build your watch list. Watch Brandino's Wand of Gamelon run. It's going to be a hoot. Actually all of Silly Block's going to be hilarious. But thank you all for being here tonight, and please remember to look after yourselves and your loved ones and each other. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medication or your vitamins if you need to. And please remember that you are valid, you deserve the best, and the world is a better place with you in it. I will be back in about 3 weeks, right before Zeldathon, with a Zeldathon takeover here on Passion Project, where they're going to be streaming before they're actually doing their full marathon, starting July 19th. So July 17th, that night we'll be doing a Zeldathon takeover where the Zeldathon crew is going to come on, talk about who they are, what they do, show off what makes Zeldathon. And that'll be after Summer Games Done Quick. And yeah, of course, you should tune in this weekend, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern both days, for Oops, You Died 3, which is an event all about Souls-like speedruns. I'll be commentating Mina the Hollower on Sunday, so definitely tune in for Oops, You Died 3, hosted by Jiggy. It's going to be awesome. Again, that's 1 p.m. Eastern both days this weekend. So if you missed out on Fast Travel or Passion Project, stay tuned as we replay